Hey everybody, welcome to a bonus content or like boner content depending on who you ask. I'm
You're asking
here.
me, and I say it's boner content.
Okay, Tony has spoken. I'm here. It is me, Alex O'Neill, and with me for this lovely pre-show warm-up, Scott Guthier is here. Tony Horvath is here, and our guest Scott White is here. Double the Scots.
Oh my gosh!
I needed more Scott in my life.
You can never have too many, Scott.
You are now the third Scott in the pantheon of Irrational Passions history. Scott Guthier, obviously the original. Scott Sauer, friend of the show, from Gamers Only Older podcast, sometimes known as Scott Prime, while our Scott is known as Other Scott, and now Professor Scott. That is the chosen and given title.
Sounds good. I like it.
I think it's good.
It fits with the whole Professor RPG thing and everything. So
yeah, I like
it works.
The Professor RPG branding, as far as like around yourself. I think that's a good look.
Well, thank you.
You got the whiskey, the bourbon in the glass.
Yeah, I do.
You got the Professor RPG. You got a little bit of the stubble. Really, you just need like a smoking jacket and a fireplace.
I should. I do have a green screen. I do have a giant green screen, so I could set that up.
Yeah, we could do like a live Professor RPG.
Should I be like the hip green fedora wearing professor?
No green fedora. No like Riddler Professor RPG take. Scott White, Professor Scott. You started writing for Irrational Passions in January.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious because we've never had the opportunity to ask, and I like to use bonus content as kind of like that probing time to learn about these people that we have on the show. What like you did writing before you wrote for IP, right?
Yeah, I actually had started another kind of gaming website kind of thing a couple of years ago back in October. Dashing Nerds, and just like with schedule and everything, it just wasn't working out too well, and my views and kind of what I wanted to do was kind of different from the others. So because we were all friends and everything, I wanted to kind of break off and do my own thing while we were still all friends and before any bridges were burned. So I did that, and I had met you, Alex, when on our mutual friend Peter's podcast. And our mutual love of Tales, and we just kind of talked from there. Mm-hmm. And when I was kind of free and looking for a place to write and be nerdy, I reached out to you, and that's kind of how I came on board the Irrational Passions crew. So.
And now you're going to PAX West.
I know. I can't wait. I'm so stoked. So freaking stoked.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to get into some trouble in Seattle.
As we should.
Exactly. There's a cheesecake factory right across from the convention center.
Oh,
so
man.
You know it's going down.
So I should warn my girlfriend I'm going to come back like 20 pounds heavier is what you're saying?
Absolutely, yeah. Let me tell you about these portions. They're ungodly.
I'm supposed to shout out, I guess, my girlfriend and her nephew are currently watching, David. So hi, Becky and David.
Hi, Becky and David. I'm sorry in advance. What kind of stuff did you write before you wrote for IP? I'm curious.
Before IP, it was kind of the same thing. It was the reviews. I had done the precursor to Professor RPG. I had started to try and do their RPG University. I actually did it for Persona to help with Persona spells because they make kind of no sense for new players. Yeah. So I did something like that, but just your basic, I wrote reviews for that. I did a lot of the contacts with PR companies and developers and stuff to try and get us review copies and things like that. I did that was mostly me. But yeah, just general content and kind of help run the site. We had some great people that took care of the programming of the site itself, but I was more scheduling and reaching out and rating stuff.
And now you have IP, which is like me desperately reaching out to GoDaddy support and telling them that uploading pictures on our website is broken, and there's nothing they can do, which is the curse we live in. I mean, I think that it's cool because for the first time at any point, like everyone at IP is kind of reaching out to people and doing their own thing. Typically, I like to have a little bit more of like a claw on that. It was just kind of like originally it was me and Joseph Fate who used to be on the show, and it was just us reaching out to people as far as like covering games, reviewing things, interviews and whatnot. But now everyone does a little bit of their own thing, and so far we haven't gotten blacklisted as far as I know. I have to check all of Quentin's emails and see who he's emailing.
Those hot takes, man.
Yeah. Just sending emails. Your game is trash. I want to review it. Please stop. Scott, Nobshin's going to get into this. So I'm going to try and, once we get into the show proper, so I'm going to try and, just for my curiosity's sake, alleviate it. What's your favorite RPG franchise?
Favorite franchise would be between Tales and Final Fantasy.
Okay.
See, my thing is I like the older Final Fantasy games more than the older Tales games, but I prefer the newer Tales games to the newer Final Fantasy games. So it's like, I would probably have to give it though to Final Fantasy, just with nostalgic reasons and kind of the feels and everything, because I didn't get into the Tales series until later with Symphonia. So, but Final Fantasy, my first memories are of Final Fantasy 3, going over to my friend's house and playing it in his basement. So I'd probably have to give it to Final Fantasy, though it has kind of gone downhill. I'll give it.
Hi, Nobshin.
Hello.
Hey, buddy.
Welcome to the party. I don't know, man. Did you like Final Fantasy 15?
I did. I think the second half, or towards the end, it felt very rushed.
Oh,
That was my main thing with it.
Right there.
And I'm not surprised with the development and everything of it. I thought after playing it, I understood why they said like including a female character would kind of mess with the dynamic they were going for, because the interaction of the characters I thought was very good. I could very much relate and think of me and 3 of my friends going on a road trip and kind of just the banter back and forth. I thought they did that really well.
Yeah.
The combat, I enjoyed the combat. The action aspect didn't bother me too much. I did find myself wishing that they had incorporated, same with one of my same gripes with Final Fantasy 13, I wish they had incorporated the Gambit system from Final Fantasy 12 to kind of give the AI give more control and customization over your AI companions.
Right?
Yeah.
You can't do shit about them.
I hear so much love for the Gambit system, so that makes sense.
Well, it's
the best mechanic Square created and then never touched again.
I wouldn't go that far, simply because I don't.
You don't know all the
I
mechanics.
haven't thought that far ahead.
Yeah.
But it's the best way to do friendly AI, because they have something that's okay with Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
But other than that, and in most other games, AI is kind of a waste of your time.
In Kingdom Hearts, I just like to watch Donald die over and over again in a burning fire of eternal flame. He's beautiful.
Poor Donald.
I don't feel bad for Donald.
And in Final Fantasy 12, they made everybody useful, and they gave you the ability to play as everybody as well. So that's basically my big gripe with the games that heavily utilize AI is in this game and in other ones. You can play one character and that's it.
Yeah.
Go
Go ahead. You can finish, Scott. I was just gonna say that I remember it being like a weird big thing in 13 where it's like you're only gonna play one of the characters at a time at any given time. I think I got it disconnected.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, it went all robot-y and a lot of words were cutting off.
It was all of us then. I feel better about it if it's all of us.
It could have just been me because I was the only one talking.
That's all right.
It happened a little bit with Alex earlier on my end, so could be something on my end too.
It's Discord.
Yeah, it could be.
Dedicated bullshit is what that is.
Anyways, basically, it's they drop the ball on one end or the other whenever they incorporate AI.
Mm-hmm.
And the only system that I've seen that has successfully combated that problem is the Gambit system.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only one.
Final Fantasy 12 did a lot of really cool things with the system, like how you could pause combat and make it so you can still issue commands to each one of your players. Yeah, it's convoluted, but it gives you the option.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, why can't we have that in all the others?
Why can't we have choice?
Yeah, let me command everybody. You know,
I get that. Yeah, I remember it being like what I was saying when I was cutting out. I remember it being like a whole big thing when in Final Fantasy 13, like you were only going to control one character at any given time, and everyone else would just kind of do whatever. Although I feel like Final Fantasy 13, the AI was fine. It only ever needed to serve one purpose at a time. So I get that. Mike Burgess is in our live chat, and he says he's always on his dedicated bullshit, and I approve. Mike. I'm trying to think. I feel like I had like one big thing, and I totally forgot it because I just had a very long day. I was prepared at some point, Scott, but it's good to have you on the show.
Oh, it's good to be here, dude.
Are we doing the number thing again?
The number thing?
Well, Scott's.
Oh, we've given Scott White the name Professor Scott. And
I'm Other Scott.
Obviously, Scott Guthier retains his title of Other Scott.
All right.
I can't take that away from him. I'll let you know. So, as some folks may know, if they watched or listened to last week's episode, watch currently is the only way to do it because I still have not posted the episode. I apologize for that. I'm recording with these other headphones, because my headphones broke mid-episode last week. Still heartbroken. And it's gross and terrible and weird. You know, you do something like with one pair of headphones for like, imagine if you were like, I only whack off with this pair of headphones on. And if they're not there, it's weird. I did that with podcasting. I did the podcasting for like 6.5 years with my Astros, and now they're gone, and now it's like this weird. I mean, to be fair, these headphones maybe just aren't that great.
Well, hold on.
You could just be an ambidextrous.
I guess.
Just use multiple headphones at the same time, so when one breaks, you'll be like, "Oh, okay, I got the other thing."
Yeah, like I've got earbuds on underneath the headphones.
That's very meta.
Go ahead, Scott.
Are they
Other
gone?
Scott. I mean, they're right here.
Which part is broken?
It's there's like a piece missing that like holds the headphone into like the left side. I could probably super glue it back on.
Yeah,
but
find it. Find it, and I'll see what I can do.
But yeah, there's like a cord that I'm just worried about.
Because you know what my headphones have been through.
I know. It's upsetting. It is time to get a new pair of headphones, but I miss them. Tony.
Hey.
How was your week, man?
It was good. I worked a lot.
Yeah.
And then had a pretty chill day today.
Yeah, I heard you got to sleep in. It sounded nice.
Yeah, for the first time in a long time. The license plates from a car came in the mail, so that entire process is done now.
You have a car now.
You have a car, and
Oh
everything
yeah.
that has to do with getting a new car is done.
You're officially what I would call a car boy.
I guess so. Boy who owns car. That's many of boys.
Yeah, I think technically I own a car, but like I didn't buy it new.
I didn't buy mine new.
I mean, whatever. It was close. This is what, like a 2016, right?
2014.
It's closer than my 2002 Toyota Camry.
I suppose that's fair.
Yeah, it's just a little bit younger. My car is like old enough to drink. I feel like. Well, it's 16, so I guess it's
Old enough to drink in Germany.
yeah. There you go. Old enough to ride the autobahn in Germany.
I think your car would probably get fucking. It'd probably fall apart.
Yeah, it would just pieces would just fly off
Yeah.
at the high velocity. That's good, man.
Yeah.
I guess-
Scott's been in that car.
Oh shit,
in
that's
that-
right.
Oh yeah, I mean we can talk about this if you want.
Big
I don't know if
thing
you want us to talk about this.
was my fucking not making it to our cute little date that we had
Yeah.
planned because I had to deal with something at work that was terrible, and I was so upset. I
Yeah,
cannot.
like I went and picked up Scott. I drove to Scott's house in the rain, and I was like, "Hey, let's go," because Alex will probably be ready. So we get back in the car, drive all the way over to this restaurant, and we're like, "All right, let's just hang out." So we hung out for a while, and they were like, "All right, well, let's just go inside, and we'll tell the person that we're just waiting on a friend." So we went inside, and we waited for like an hour and a half.
And then you looked at the waiter and said to them that the friend that we were waiting on is dead to me.
Yeah, basically.
But we would like some bubble tea.
But
Yeah,
I
so
would
we
like some
we got some bubble tea, and then went and got different food because we had to save that first experience there for you.
I appreciate that. You're too kind.
But in the process of that, yeah, we spent like a solid 2 hours in my car.
Hell yeah.
And Scott and I was like, Scott and I were just chilling. It was like more comfortable in the car than it was in the restaurant.
Tell me how nice the car is, Scott.
Oh, it's very nice.
Okay.
You should have been in a similar car before.
Yeah.
We've owned a Challenger before.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
been a while though.
Yeah, it's been a while. The interior of this one's gonna be nicer.
Yeah, I imagine. Modern vehicle.
Yeah, the other one was the SRT version, so the extra sport version.
The extra sport version is what they call my underwear.
They had some stupid,
Alright.
effective brakes on it. You'd tap it and you'd immediately lose half your speed. And you're like, how do I drive this thing normally?
Yeah, you feel like you got a lead foot, and you're like, no, it's just
Yeah,
brakes
when
on this.
it was a bit nerve-wracking to go with that thing on a highway
Mhm.
because if you had to go from 70 to 50, because somebody slowed down for some reason,
Yeah.
you were basically sliding out because that was one tap.
It's nothing like a good car ride to really get the blood pumping. That sounds all right. Tony, are you gonna be like one of those like car dads that's like when your friends get in your car, you have to put on their like Japanese style slippers and put their shoes in the cubby and
No, but like I'd appreciate it if people weren't like, just like slinging crap all over the car,
just slinging some shit,
Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry, guys. I'm still sorry.
No, that's cool. We'll just find another time to go.
I took half my lunch that day because everything was on fire, and
It's like everything was on fire.
yeah, I also didn't want to not be doing anything because everything being on fire, but also like me just being a long terrible day. Scott, other Scott, did you get up to any shenanigans this week?
Yes and no. That was the most eventful thing of the week.
Okay. So,
Other than that, there is something I'm forgetting.
okay. If it comes to you, you can
Yeah, it comes to me.
yell it out. Nabishin, how are your friends' pets?
They're fine. I'm probably gonna restart my computer. Everyone's keep cutting in and out for me.
Okay. You could also restart Discord. I don't know how your computer works, man.
I'll just restart. So, I'll be back.
Go for it. I will say, because I think when Nabishin gets back, we'll transition into the proper show. I don't know what's going on with your microphones, Scott White, but it's just very it's peaking on Discord.
I can turn the gain down a little bit. See if that...
try turning the gain down and see how it sounds.
Test.
Try
Pretty face.
It's still peaking a little bit. Do you want to bring it down?
Let me go in user settings, input volume. I'll turn that. I'll try that. Hello? I think I got disconnected.
No, that was Nabishin.
Okay.
Bumping out.
Is that any better?
It's a little bit better. It's
okay.
It's still very sensitive.
Okay, I'll bring it down. Input volume, I'll bring it down to 35%. Let's see if that does. Is that better? I can also always put my microphone further away.
I think my worry is it might be Discord.
Is that any better?
Is
that good?
That is good. Try hit me with a hot take about Tales of Vesperia.
Tales of Vesperia, great. One of my top 3, right there, a bit along with Abyss and Berseria. Rapide, best dog boy.
Best dog boy for sure. Tony, let me tell you about this dog that smokes a pipe.
All right, tell me about it.
Carries a knife and has a scar. He has all the coolest things to him.
And he has a enemy character, an antagonist in his little subplot named Big Wolf or whatever.
That's right. I forgot about that
subplot. Little Wolf, that is his name. And there's a whole side quest where you have to go around marking your territory around the world map in order to edge out Little Wolf. And the other characters in your party pretend like they know what Rapide is saying to Little Wolf, and they're just making up voices for him and Little Wolf. It's great.
Yeah. And when you can attach dolls or little figures or dolls of the other characters' cast to Rapide as attachments, and they cling onto his tail. It's really cute.
Your boy Genus could be rubbing up on Rapide's tail.
Don't call him my boy.
I'm really hoping we get some new outfits.
I mean, at this point, they could fucking do whatever DLC for that game. I'll buy it.
Judith as Velvet. That's all I'm gonna say.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. I'm with you. I think it's better, but go into your Discord mic settings. Hit you.
Kidoki.
Sorry,
I am in my settings.
To viewers, you're gonna see my Discord mic settings. I
have my input volume set to 35.
Try switching your microphone to something else and then switching it back. I know that sounds dumb, but
okay. This is set to my
headset.
That immediately sounds better to me.
This is my C922 mic.
Okay.
This is my webcam mic. And now let me go back. Voice volume. And now I'm back to my Yeti.
Okay, now it just sounds completely different.
Different? Bad different?
Good different.
Okay. Yeah, who knows? But yeah, now I'm back on my Yeti, so is that...
I think it sounds
okay.
I would just, honestly, maybe lower the gain on the actual Yeti a little bit more, and then
okay,
just watch your plosives, man. I think it'll be okay.
Is there any way to see levels here on Discord?
If you open up those user settings again, it should, as long as automatically determine input sensitivity is turned off, it should be giving you a little bar showing you how loud you're getting.
Okay, yeah, the input sense or automatically determine input sensitivity is turned on.
Try turning that off.
Okay.
And then it should show you like a little green bar of like how
Yeah.
loud you are.
If yeah, it just says if the indicator is solid green, then Discord is transmitting your beautiful voice. So is that any better? Is that any different?
I think that's pretty much the same. That's fine. That's what that does. Like if you're too quiet, it'll like it'll cut you off.
Echo cancellation, noise suppression, automatic gain control. Enable quality of service high packet priority, attenuation when I speak, when others speak.
I just don't fuck with any of that stuff.
Okay.
I think it's a little bit better now.
Okay. And I can also, is it better like closer or should I keep
think
it further
the
away?
distance you had was good.
Okay. So like right there.
Yes.
That works.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Everybody want to get Audacity ready. Let me make sure I'm recording from the right device.
Yeti stereo mic.
But yeah, that's the right microphone. Nice.
That is what I want.
But y'all know, I just gotta yell "butt" into a microphone. That's how I test those levels.
I need more Knob Creek. This tastes really good.
I would fucking go for a glass of Bullet right now like nobody's business.
PAX West, the main stuff doesn't start until Friday, right?
Yeah, the show doesn't actually start till Friday. Thursday night, we're getting fucking wasted.
So we have Thursday to make poor decisions.
Well, Thursday is our, pre-show dinner.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I figure if we're all getting in the morning, or you, Mike, and I are getting in the morning, then we can day drink until Logan gets in.
Tony and I almost did that once.
Yeah, that was a good day.
I did not drink, though, because I was so fucking tired. Here's my thing. I'm probably, depending on how it goes, probably going to just need a nap.
You know what helps naps?
All right.
You know what? Shots.
All right.
You do shots and then you take a nap. See, that's...
Wake up hungover. Start your night off right.
Yeah. See, then you'll need like hair of the dog so you feel better. So then you'll be all set for the team dinner.
Yeah.
Where you can drink more and it'll be perfect.
The thing is, like, because again, this is like the soft reboot of Irrational Passions at PAX West. We've never done a team dinner before a PAX West show because we never really had a team there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm stoked.
Oh, a couple of my friends have lived and live in Seattle, so they've recommended a ton of good like bars and restaurants and stuff.
Cool.
Too. So
as long as they're close to the convention center.
Yeah, I believe they are. So that's what I'm requesting. It's like I'm not going to have a car, so I need to be damn close. So
yeah. The only issue is we're probably going to be a few minutes away, like a 15-minute Uber ride away or so. It's judging by the sounds of it, which is fine. It's just further than we were for like PAX East.
Yeah. That's not bad still.
You know what? I'm going to be perfectly honest with everyone involved here. I'm going to sneak in another bathroom break before we get the show started because it's going to be an hour before I can pee again.
So anyone got anything fun planned for the weekend?
More of this, man. It's going to be great.
More of podcasting?
More of doing nothing.
Oh, I know. This is the first weekend in a while that I haven't had anything to go and do. So I'm planning on playing a lot of video games tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be great. And then Sunday, I'm doing dinner at my mom's and laundry. Less fun, but still pretty relaxing.
Yeah, it's like at least it's not anything else.
Right. Right.
Do you think Nobishin died?
I hope not.
He's probably fine.
That'd be a bummer.
I think so. I'd be upset.
There's another eruption on Hawaii?
Was there a first eruption?
Well, the crazy thing that was going on, and now I guess it's a place called Vanuatu Island? Vanuatu Island of 10,000 evacuated again after volcano erupts. Trigger state of emergency. Man, I hate lava. Lava freaks me out. Lava and sunflowers.
Why
sunflowers?
Okay, I'm pretty sure this is because of the Ninja Turtles movie with the mutants dandelions, and my young brain just attributed giant dandelions to sunflowers. But I don't like. They just give me the heebie-jeebies. Like no flower should naturally be able to become larger than or taller than a house.
Yo, can that happen?
Yeah. Like, sunflowers can get ridiculously large, and then it's like, oh, the sunflowers turn, so they follow the sun. No. They're looking at you. That's why I eat the sunflower seeds, to stem their population.
Got it. Makes sense.
Cat people also freak me out, but...
Hey, man, I got a cat.
Man, nothing wrong with a good anime about cat people.
No, it's not like cat people in animes. Like, cartoons, those are fine.
But like real life,
it's people that have gotten like implants, like whisker implants and stuff to make themselves look like cats. Those are what freak me out.
Hey man, I don't kink shame.
Oh, I don't kink shame either. I don't think that's a kink. It's just like a personal choice. But
so it's a way of
freaks
life.
Me out. They're welcome to it. They just gotta stay away from me because they look scary. They scare me.
That's fair. You know about this Nobishin people that get cat implants, like whisker implants, trying to look like cats?
Not that one. I know the thing about like it was a few years ago where like it was like popular to have like a donut shape on your forehead.
Oh yeah, I know about that.
What?
That's fucking weird.
Yeah,
I remember that.
That was a few years ago.
Forehead. I'm just gonna search forehead donut shape.
I just posted in chat an example of what terrifies me.
Whoa! What the fuck
Right?
is
Exactly.
this?
See?
What?
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah. And here's him with his whiskers in.
No, I'm not even talking about what you're showing me, Scott. I'm talking about
the
this.
donuts.
All right, this cat dude is pretty freaky looking.
I know, right?
I remember seeing that like from Guinness when I was younger.
Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
This fucking bagel head shit is fucking me up, man.
That was like a popular thing for a while. I think.
I know.
But like I don't know like the evolution of that, so I never went know if it was stopped to be popular or if it's still popular.
Man, this fucking bonus content took a goddamn turn.
Yeah, it's not special.
Here's the thing. So like my roommate, one of my best friends, he's way into body modification, right? He's got a split tongue. He's got a little snaky tongue. He's got an implant in his right hand. See, fun fact, Scott White, he's got a big sunflower tattoo on his right hand, and he got an implant in it, so it looks like the seeds part of it is actually popping out. So again,
as long as he wears like a mitten, I'd be cool with him, man. I just had to avert my gaze.
He's into the body mod stuff, so I pick up a lot of stuff via osmosis. Ain't never heard of Bagelhead, which is apparently what this is called.
I'm pretty sure your roommate has heard of this.
I'm sure he knows about it, but he has not spread that knowledge to me. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's called Bagelhead. It was pioneered in Canada, practiced in the Japanese underground scene. I don't even know what the Japanese underground scene in Canada looks like.
Looks like it was a trend. It trended in Japan as well.
Yeah. That's I knew it was where it was popular. But I was like maybe 10 years ago I saw that.
A temporary distortion of the forehead created by saline drip, often shaped to resemble a bagel or donut. In 2012, after appearing on National Geographic TV special, the practice became the subject of sensationalism.
It's one of those things where I just find myself asking, it's like, just because we can, should we?
I mean, the answer is always yes. Absolutely.
And that's what led to Bagelhead.
And here we are, Bagelhead.
Bagelhead, man.
Bagelhead is the official name of this Wikipedia article. I feel like it's a very unflattering name. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
But like I said,
I think it downplays it for sure.
Yeah. I'm not here to kink shame, so whatever, man. Chase your bliss, live your truth, whatever you got to do. Nobshin, can I challenge you to come up with a bet this week?
Sure.
Okay. I could probably come up with one, but I figured you always bring a spice to it, and I appreciate that. I'm trying to make sure for last week's bet we got it all covered. I believe so. Let's get started. Now, machine, ready to start recording?
Oh wait, let me turn on Audacity. I had it open, and then I had to close it out.
Gotcha. Microphone, blah blah blah. Okay, yeah, it's still good. Microphone.
Oh man, the Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey primer is about 600 away from the big 10,000 mark.
Dude, hell yeah! It's like that and that one piece that Brendan wrote about Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. Right now, Professor RPG is the top two with what went wrong with Kingdom Hearts coming in third. So, yeah. Kingdom Hearts, man.
It's a hot commodity.
Oh, we're like...
That Professor RPG about Kingdom Hearts 3, man, it's going to do bonkers.
Oh, man. I'm going to need your help with that. I'm going to want to do a lore and kind of timeline with that, and I'm going to need your help with that.
I know I'm here for you.
Oh, I know you are.
I'm a Kingdom Hearts lore scholar.
We're going to have to do one for Tales of Vesperia, too. That's coming out.
We'll get business cards printed and everything. Tales and Kingdom Hearts scholars, Alex and Scott. Scott, Tony, you guys ready to start?
Yep.
Other Scott?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to count down from 5 to 1, and on 1, we're going to hit record together. So not on go, on 1. Cool?
Yep.
Cool.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We did it.
Hooray.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I mean, I honestly don't know, Scott. I feel I want to put something after it. Scott, comma, other.
You just have to remember the other in front of it.
It's true. I got to be better. I have to do better. All right, let's get to it. Let me I'll send out a quick tweet. Cool. All right. It is Friday, July 27th, 2018, and you are listening to the Irrational Passions podcast. I'm your host, Alex O'Neill, and joining me this week, we have Scott Guthier.
Hello.
Tony Horvath.
What's up?
Brian Nobishin Jackson.
I'm the video game boy. I'm the one who wins.
And joining us this week, special guest, Professor RPG himself, Scott White, joining the team. Hi.
Oh, hey.
I should focus participant just so video viewers can get a hot load of that wink right there. Scott White, henceforth known as Hereforth. Since we have another double Scott cast, we're bringing back the other Scott moniker for Scott Guthier. It's a preferred name. It's like when you sign up for like a new job and they have like, what's your first and last name? What's your preferred name? Other Scott is the preferred name. And for Scott White, we have Professor Scott. We're just Scott, whichever. We'll figure it out as we go.
Yeah, I'll respond to either.
Yeah.
Make it easy.
Everyone respond to all Scotts. Scott, you are a writer for IrrationalPassions.com.
I am.
You're a host of a new show that we launched this week, which we'll get into in a little bit. Podcast Ultimate, a new limited run series that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And you are also on our site known colloquially, lovingly as Professor RPG.
Yeah.
For folks who don't know you or are less familiar with you, where are you at on the internet? What are you doing outside of IP, including IP? What are you doing out there?
Well, outside of IP, I'm out in Michigan, right around the Detroit area, southeast Detroit area. I do a lot of streaming over on Twitch. I'm playing through the entire localized main Tales series this year. I'm calling it my Trial of Tales event over on Twitch. So that's been a lot of fun. I'm on game 9 of 14, so we're making good progress there. But outside of that, I do graphics. I do a lot of commission art projects and emotes and stuff like that for people. And I write and yeah, just kind of hang out with my Shiba Inu named Suki. So
I didn't know you had a Shiba Inu.
yeah, Suki, she's passed out.
Oh my gosh, she's
me.
adorable.
Yeah, she's passed out right now.
Yeah. That's how I feel on the inside.
Yeah.
Well, you started writing for IP in January.
Yeah.
It's been a ton of fun. Very excited. You're gonna be a part of the West Coast crew going to PAX West.
Can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be something. It will either be a great fun time or a nightmare.
No, it'll be a good time. Like I was saying in the Discord and on Twitter and everything, like the opportunities like IP has given me and being able to go to a convention with a press pass, like it's my first one, like as a part of like the games media. It's for years and years since before I was like when I was in high school, I knew I wanted to do something in the games industry. I went to school for game design and things along like with that and like 3D modeling and things. So the chance to finally be going to a convention as big as like PAX West with a press pass as part of like IP, Irrational Passions, and to be able to write content and do stuff, I feel like I'm kicking in the door a little bit. You know, I'm finally there. I can write, and I feel like I've claimed my little piece of the games industry as like a journalist and being able to do it. And I'm just so excited and grateful for the opportunities and everything that Irrational Passions has given me and all the great people I've met. And I can't wait. I can't freaking wait.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of sucked because at PAX East, which we did a great job covering this year, you were kind of like the odd man out, like pretty much the only person not there from the writing team. Well,
at PAX East, I felt like, because you guys offered it to me, it was nothing about that. It was like I didn't feel I had earned my place yet.
Mm-hmm.
I really hadn't had that many articles and things like that, and I was still getting into the swing of working with everyone and not knowing everyone still. So I didn't feel like I deserved a press pass to go to PAX East this past year. But now that I've been on the site longer and I've gotten to know you guys more and put out more articles and things, like it's like, yeah, okay, I can do this now. And I'm super excited, and I was fun offering just any support or things I could do from my end while you guys were crazy busy out at PAX East. So
yeah,
I never felt bad or left out by it. I mean, it was my decision.
Now you get to live that nightmare.
Oh, I can't wait. This is the nightmare I've been wanting to get into my entire life, you know?
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. We're gonna do some cool stuff. And hopefully we're going to be staying with many of the folks from OK Beast. So hopefully we're going to do some dumb stuff with them as well. But it's good to have you on board. It's good to have you on the show. It's finally making it happen. It's just my fault that we haven't had you on yet. The podcast proper.
You've had some pretty awesome guests, so I don't take offense to it at all. Like,
well,
not at all.
Welcome to the pantheon of awesome guests.
Oh, thanks.
as part of the
My heart.
initiation, Nobishin, I'm gonna throw it to you. Hit Scott with some questions.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready.
So every time a guest comes on the show, we give them like a couple questions, or is it a few, or is it several? What's 3?
I would say a few is an acceptable term for 3.
Okay. So give them 3 questions. One. The first one's always the same, and the 2 is different, just so you could flesh out who this person is. So, Scott, what is your favorite game of all time?
Favorite game of all time would be Mega Man X for the Super Nintendo. I thought it blended. I thought the soundtrack was fantastic, and gameplay and level design and just the visuals of it just reverberates in my soul. It's just a fantastic game.
A
Mega
man
Man
after your
X.
own heart, Nobishin.
Mega Man X.
I fully agree. Um, this is kind of a twofer, but like it's still just one question. What's your favorite and least favorite tutorial in a video game?
Oh my!
As a man who writes tutorials.
I write helpful guides. I wouldn't call them necessarily tutorials because tutorials I feel like you can't skip.
That's a good question.
I can't think of a specific. The tutorials I hate. Okay, Final Fantasy 13 worst tutorials because they last like 11 hours. I would say that I don't have a favorite game how they handle tutorials, but I like the ones that give you the option of doing the tutorial as opposed to forcing you to do the tutorial. In terms of specific games, as a specific game with my favorite tutorial, I can't answer. I can't think of it, but games that give me the option to do tutorials are my favorite.
Like Spelunky, where you could go into the tutorial cave or you could just skip it altogether.
Yeah. Enter the Gungeon. I've been playing that a bit lately, and that has you can do the tutorial if you want, or you can go right into the game. So I thought that was handled pretty well. I ended up going and doing the tutorial for it just because, so I knew the different controls and things I might have missed after doing a dive or two. But the hands-off, giving you the option for tutorials are my favorite because I grew up in a time like with NES and everything where there were the tutorials were the instruction books, man. You had to read.
You had to go out of your way to find it.
I know.
But like just to like expand on this a little bit, what I've been thinking lately, like you said, Mega Man X is one of your favorite games of all time, and I think Hollow Knight does as well, where it doesn't like teach you anything, but you like go into it and like the game kind of like teaches you yourself. Yeah. Like with Hollow Knight specifically, I didn't know you can like bounce on enemies until like there was an area where I couldn't get through, and then like I saw the shell thing, and I know I could do a downward slash. I was like, can I do this? And it's like, oh yeah, I could totally do this, and like that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think like there's so much game theory out there about it. Of like obviously like 1-1 in Mario Brothers is like infamously the way it's constructed is like to tutorialize you. I think personally Breath of the Wild does that really well. Yeah, I think like that like inherent tutorial design is probably my favorite.
And like not to get too ahead of myself, but like playing through these Mega Man X games, like none of them, all the opening stages are their own tutorial. Nothing actually tells you what to do until Mega Man X5, when it was like that's when they introduced
Elia.
Yeah, Elia, and she does the tutorial thing every step of the way. I'm like, oh my god, like no wonder.
And so many of her calls like just automatically open up, and you can't do anything about it. It's so annoying. But in regards to Hollow Knight that you mentioned, I love that you don't from the get-go get the maps. I like that you have to buy the maps and the compass to see where you're at. I thought that was a really cool take because all other Metroidvanias that I can think of anyway, maps for you. But I thought it was really cool kind of, okay, you can go at it completely blind if you want with Hollow Knight. I thought that was very cool. I thought that was a really good take on it.
Yeah, I like that you have to buy a quill so that you can update your own map. It's a little thing, but it makes a big difference.
And last question, you kind of went into this, but I hopefully is not the answer, but we'll see what happens. Your because I knew you were a big RPG guy. I said like your favorite RPG/JRPG combat system.
Favorite combat system? Ooh. I was all prepared for favorite series. I had mentioned in the bonus content. Exactly, in the bonus content. Favorite combat system. Ooh.
Why is it Tales of Julia?
No, like I could pick out like what I like about probably 100 different RPG systems, but what's my favorite?
Residence of Fate.
Good game, a bit complex.
A little too complex.
But it was a bit too complex, but it was a very interesting game. I liked the take Trias did with that, but I digress.
I don't even know if I could think of my favorite one. Maybe Kingdom Hearts 2. Like, probably. Actually, it's probably Persona 4 or 5. Like, weirdly enough, like, even though I don't like turn-based combat.
Favorite.
I'd probably do the Alex O'Neill thing where I would like, here's my favorite turn-based and here's my favorite action version.
Yeah. I would say if I had to pick one.
This is destroying me, and I love it.
Are you for turn-based or do you like action-based? I'm just curious.
I'm pretty okay with both as long as they're done well. Like I have a huge love for like the older Final Fantasies, like Final Fantasy 6, Final Fantasy 7, even 8. I love those. I'm a huge Tales fan, so I like the action RPG aspect as well. Persona, the push turn system from the Shin Megami Tensei games are fantastic. I like how you're rewarded by hitting and exploiting enemies' weaknesses. I think that's a really cool system. How you can get extra turns, I think that's really cool. But like out of all the games, a single favorite system, we're gonna say Final Fantasy VI as a cop-out answer because it's classic and I like Magicite.
Let me tell you about my Magicite, boys. That's good.
All I gotta say, Super Mario RPG, you like time it. It's pretty good.
Dude, let me tell you about Paper Mario: The 1,000 Year Door.
I don't know if you've ever played the Mother 3 translated ROM at all, but it does a really cool kind of, it evolves on the Mario RPG system where you can increase the amount of hits you do by timing it to the beat of the background music that's going on with the monster you're fighting. So if you time your button presses to the music, you'll get more hits, up to 16 additional hits.
And it doesn't tell you that, right?
No.
You just figure it out, yeah.
Going back, we're looping back around to that tutorial question.
Just like Paper Mario, the 1,000 Year Door doesn't tell you how to do stylish moves. You just figure it out.
I've only played the N64 Paper Mario.
Dude! Oh, you're dead to me, Scott. Get off the show! I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry.
You should play it. They should.
To be fair, I'm also dead to him because I haven't played it either.
You know what they should do for
Probably
both
should.
of you, for all Scots in the world? They should put it on fucking Switch. I'll pay $60 for that game. Just give it to me. Scott, for folks who don't know, the thing I think you are most well known for on IrrationalPod.com is your Professor RPG column.
Yeah.
It is by far the most popular series of things on the site as far as like clicks, views.
Yeah, it gets a few.
It gets a few. You're bringing in that Reddit traffic, just raking it in. But yeah, those are very cool. How would you describe them?
My goal for Professor RPG, I've always thought I would love kind of like an info guide that helps players without spoiling anything. That doesn't necessarily give away anything with the story or what people can expect, but just something they can have open on their phone or their computer next to them, something that can use to augment and kind of help them along without spoiling anything. That's my main goal with Professor RPG, and it really stemmed from stats. Like a lot of RPG stat systems have a lot of really strange statistics you can put things into, like spirit or vitality or vigor, and it's like I have no idea what the hell those mean and what they affect. So the idea of just a simple guide on what those things mean kind of then spiraled into what Professor RPG became. So, just a helpful guide that doesn't spoil anything.
I like that. Quick, simple, and to the point.
Yeah.
I think they're super helpful. We've been lucky enough to be able to get you set up so that you can kind of have those ready for the day that a couple of games have launched, which is really cool. And yeah, if you were unaware, as far as to kick off housekeeping, Professor RPG pieces are great, especially like if you really want to get into Radiant Historia. Was that that's another RPG, right?
Yeah, we did Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey when it was re-released on 3DS. We've done Alliance Alive.
That's what
that was released on 3DS. I also did one that specialized in breaking down the basics of blades for Xenoblade, excuse me, 2. So, and I'm currently just about done with one, going into depth on the junction system for Final Fantasy VIII. So, and I have some stuff maybe in the works for Dragon Quest, the series of Dragon Quest, for Dragon Quest XI's release in September. So
we're getting there. We're getting close. So if you've not read or checked out any of those, I would highly recommend them. Other things up on IrrationalPod.com this last week. The big one, new limited series show, Podcast Ultimate, hosted by your friend and mine, Mike Burgess, as well as Scott White and myself. It is a monthly limited run series of podcasts, ideally going through December. Although I was thinking about it today, of like, Nintendo might delay that game, so we might get a little bit more legwork out of Podcast Ultimate, but we'll see. Monthly show where we talk about everything Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Mike did a great job kind of putting together like this promo video, which is the intro video to this show. It is a video podcast, and video is a big part of it, so I would recommend watching it. It is currently the only way to consume that show, but
it's pretty awesome.
It was a lot of fun to record. It got me hyped again for Smash Brothers. I think that was the feeling of all of us coming out of that first recording. And we do a fun thing at the end of every episode where we pitch a character. And I'll let y'all know, I might have a recurring bit idea in regards to how my character pitches are going to go.
You're surprised how you weaseled that one in. With the first episode, it was pretty damn impressive, I gotta say. That one took me by surprise. I was like, oh, I like how we did that.
The best part is like when you're listening to it, you can tell I'm just giddy at how horrible I am.
And what's funny is how like angry Mike gets. It's like, I told you, no, we're not doing that. You're just instantly banned, you know.
Let me tell you about my boy Goku. If you have not watched that, it's on youtube.com/irrationalpassions. Highly recommend it. It's a really fun show to do, and I'm excited for the stuff that we're going to talk about in next month's episode. And we might get some guests on at some point. Yeah. That's the plan. I'm pretty stoked about it. Outside of that, new episode of Input, and more stuff on the horizon. I know we got at least 2 reviews cooking, and a couple other things cooking as well. So we're working on it. Let's get right into video games. The video games that we have been playing. Let's start with Namashing. You got a pretty short list here.
Always.
Not always. Sometimes, you got a weird long list like I do this week. Namashing, what you been playing?
Nothing. I've been working literally all this week. But like as far as like Final Fantasy 7, like I just got past the cross-dressing scene, which is interesting.
I can't wait to see that one in the remake.
It's weird playing that game, and the only reason I say it's weird is because and I feel like I say this every time I restart playing that game, or at least try to play the game. But it's like it's weird how 90s anime it is.
Yes.
And like and how the legacy of that is like it just doesn't even like remotely even touch that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like the tone and like how the characters act and like Like I said, like it's very 90s anime. Like it feels like it's one of those things where you'll see like sweat drops and stuff like that from off their heads or something like that, but you don't really see any anime anymore.
Yeah.
But like it's just like one like I'm just curious how much of that is going to translate to like the remake whenever that comes out. Like it seems like it's not going to be like that at all. If I were to think about like how Final Fantasy is received now, how Crisis Core when I played it that like 10 years ago or how long ago that was, like how that game was compared to like this game. Of course having children, of course how Cloud is like portrayed in like the Kingdom Hearts game. So it was like, it's just like I don't think they're gonna like do this stuff at all. So like when they remake it, I think they're actually gonna like probably remake it. And like maybe like this cross-dressing scene is like it's still probably be there, but like in a weirdly different way. Like I just can't see it being the same type of thing, you know?
Yeah, if that cross-dressing scene was in any way like self-serious, right? It would be such a different thing. But you know, like everyone's just kind of laughing along through the whole thing. Like Aerith is getting like a huge kick out of every single part of that.
You know, because it's like sure, like I can't I from like the stuff I see of Final Fantasy, like for Final Fantasy 7, I should say, like I can't see the scene where like Cloud has a dream and then like a muscular guy wakes him up by like punch him in the face and it's like like wake up pretty boy. Like I don't think that's gonna be in that. So like you know it's just like you know because like obviously it's a different time type of thing, but it's also like you know it's like I don't know if that's still a tone that they want anymore for that game.
Older Final Fantasies are definitely have a lot more lighthearted moments than more recent Final Fantasies.
Yeah, dude. Final Fantasy 15 is just depressing the whole way through. not really.
They have confirmed that the cross-dressing scene is in the remake, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah. I'm with you. It's funny too that you mentioned it's a very 90s anime. I guess I never really put that together in my head, but you can see like how that game is like in this perfect storm of all these different pieces of Japanese culture being both Americanized and also like popularized in the United States. Like, you know, Dragon Ball Z was huge in the US at the time, for kind of like the first time for the United States. And RPGs were huge. Or like basically riding off that Super Nintendo wave into the spotlight of that generation of consoles, right? And it kind of like peaks for a while with Final Fantasy VII, and it kind of goes down from there for a little bit. So it is very much like this central thing that is like taking all these different Western and Eastern influences at the same time, and it's very unique. Like there's nothing quite like Final Fantasy VII, I don't think. Although plenty have tried to ape it. Go ahead, Scott.
No, Final Fantasy VII had that. It was that special. Maybe it was the marketing or whatever they did for it, but it opened RPGs for the mass market. That was one of the big things with Final Fantasy VII, what it really did for RPGs in general. But it did have such a unique kind of take of silly. It had silly moments, but it was also kind of serious and dark to it, and it was a serious and interesting story. I'm definitely interested to see, like everyone has been saying, how they're going to do it with the remake, but there hasn't been an RPG as influential, I don't think, as our Final Fantasy VII was since Final Fantasy VII came about. And I still, to this day, love the materia system and all the customization it kind of gave to your party and what you could do with it.
Yeah. Because I'm curious, because I think one of the coolest bits about Final Fantasy VII is how it tonally changes a lot as that story goes on, Namshin. So, praying that you stick with it. I'm curious how you feel once you get on disc 2 and beyond.
How far am I know like I'm like 3 hours in, so I'm not like fucking like
you know, when I went back, it was definitely shorter than I remember. Like ended up doing all the extra stuff. Like if you're mainlining it, it's not too bad. It's like you could probably do it in like 30 hours or less.
I'm just being like, how far am I from this 2? I should say.
You're
about half, I would say. If you're doing the cross-dressing, I would say you're about half.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say once you get out of Midgar which is like the
Go to
big,
section 7, right?
yeah, because like I mean, like once you leave Midgard, just in general, that's when you
Okay.
you are kind of like through the big hump of that game, which is like the first 4 or 5 hours, or 7 hours, depending on how long you spend in Shinra Tower. But yeah, like once you hit the field map, you've made significant progress, and it's pretty smooth from there.
Mm.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I
Seth.
would no, I would. I'm correcting my statement. You're about halfway, I would say, out of Midgar, but maybe a third of the way through disc 1.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Okay.
once you're out of Midgar, the game opens up, and
It starts moving.
going back to the time like when you first get out of Midgar and notice that there is a world map. It was such a holy crap experience, thinking up until that point you're just going to be exploring Midgar, which is a giant area, and then suddenly you're out of Midgar and you have this entire world map you can explore. It was such a eye-opening and kind of wow moment back in the day.
Yeah, because if you think like, you know, all the Final Fantasy games had that kind of like world map stuff, but like you didn't know what that was going to look like in 3D and in 7. And the moment where you spent like 5 hours, which at the time it was a long time, especially for a lot of like Western players that were playing their first JRPG with 7, and then like you get out of the city and it's like, oh, the whole world. It's great. What were you gonna say, Nobishin?
No, I was just going to mention more about the characters. How I just really generally just liking them from what I played so far.
You are liking them or disliking them?
No, there's nothing to dislike. Like all of them are cool. Like right before I left Twitter, like I was saying, like, oh man, I really miss Zach, but like I didn't, and I obviously I still
Now
do
you got
miss
your boy
Zach.
Barrett.
But like you know, like Cloud is fine. Like you know, this guy like get deeper into like what his tortured past is and stuff like that, and like you know, just know more about him because he's not as moody as he has been portrayed for, or like, you know, like the osmosis has been given off of him. For, like,
Yeah, I
so
mean,
many
to be fair,
years.
like every scene he has in Kingdom Hearts is like, Jesus, dude, would you fucking chill? He's just like, I need to find my light, and it's like, all right, man, like I just met you.
Advent Children turned Cloud from just a badass that just like hated everything and was just like, screw you, dude, to I'm so emotionally unstable. Oh man.
I don't know how
Like-
to talk to about my feelings.
Oh man. Like he just went from a hard ass to an emo chick.
I really love how Cloud himself changes throughout that game. So
Mm-hmm.
that character arc is still one of my favorites in a JRPG. So
It's good.
it's good. 2 thumbs up.
Can't wait to hear it's your first time playing through Final Fantasy 7, right?
Legitimately, yes.
Okay. I'm
Several
anxious to hear what you think of at the very end, the Cloud story. So
Yeah.
You should. By the way, you were talking about the marketing for that game. You should really look at those commercials and just to see how much of a lie that game is.
they put so much money into marketing that game. It is nuts. I remember seeing images of them putting posters and things on like subways and it was nuts back in the day. The advertising for that for Final Fantasy 7.
Oh, and speaking on that, by the way, like I know I just made a joke about it, but like that game does look good. It does look good for cause you know, like I can see the beauty of the quote unquote ugliness, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But like it's starting to make sense to me now, like because I couldn't wrap my head around it back then, and it took me a while to do it now. But like I'm starting to get like the view of it.
There is some like the way those backgrounds are drawn and everything. There's some really cool stuff in that game.
Yeah, it's kind of like how like I played Metal Gear Solid after I played Twin Snakes, and like trying to like to get the beauty out of Metal Gear Solid now. Like I totally get that, and I totally love the way Metal Gear Solid, the original, look on PlayStation 1. So you know.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of inferred design for the player. Like I'm taking this and I'm like kind of conflating it in my head to make it better than it looks on face value. and I think that stuff is cool. What else you been playing, Nabishin?
The only other thing I've been playing, because like I played Final Fantasy 7 on probably Monday. That was the last time I played it, and then like the rest of the fucking week has just been Mega Man X Legacy Collection.
Yeah, they put that out for you, man.
Yeah, I've already platinumed the first collection.
Damn.
So like that's 1, 2,
All the
3,
good
and
Mega Man
4.
X games.
Literally all the good ones. Like you do not need to even need to touch the second Legacy Collection, but like yeah, like I just started 5 again. I haven't played 5 in so long because I enjoyed 5 when I had it on the original PlayStation, and like it was just like 5. I thought because like no, I absolutely adore X4. That's like one of my favorites. Like that and X1 are like comparable for me, like as far as like my favorite X game. But like X5, like that was like kind of a disappointment, but I still liked it because like you can't get armors and pieces. You have to like, get them all at once for you to even use the armor, that type of thing. And like obviously the tutorial was in that game, and like the randomization in that game, like for the first time ever, like because I was curious about it because like Summer Games on Quake just happened recently, and I was thinking to myself like, I've never seen like Mega Man X5 or 6 do like a speed run or something like that. I saw an X6 one, which was like pretty good, but like apparently X5 is like literally the worst of them all to like try to do a speed run because it's so random with so many elements, and like dealing with the Sigma virus and like all the attachments you had, and like obviously the armor pieces, and like when you're like trying to build like a machine to like shoot like a colony that's heading to the Earth, like that's a randomization type of thing, like either it'll hit the Earth or it won't hit the Earth type of thing, and it's just like all this shit, and it's just like, man, like it's like I just remembering that game is like, wow, because like I remember buying that when I bought that game. I had a magazine with it, and me and my brother was kind of disappointed, like, oh man, you're spoiling the game, and it's like, no man, like it's fun, and like it's still fun, and like I enjoyed the game because I had a guy with me. But like if I didn't have that guy, dude, like that game is so obtuse and it's so crazy, and like obviously X6 is like a whole nother can of worms as far as like difficulty, and like the way that game is designed is like it's crazy to me that I even got to Sigma in that game. I didn't beat the game. I got to Sigma in that game, but I never beat it. So this will be my redemption, I guess, with this collection.
The redemption arc. I played Mega Man X1 for the first time last year. Great game.
Yeah, nice.
Great game. Brant Rand Sherpa'd me through it like a loving older brother.
Did you beat it?
No. No, wait. We did. Once Brant, I didn't figure anything out, to be clear. Once Brant was like, you got to use the weird ball thing, and that's how you do a lot of damage in the last fight. I was like, oh, why?
The rolling shield.
Yeah. I was like, why does that do damage? He's like, I don't fucking know. And I'm like, all right, like, whatever. That last fight sucks. There's my hot take. The Wolford Brimley fight sucks because it took me forever to figure out, and then that last fight sucks.
But yeah, that as far as like the collection itself, at least for the first one, Mega Man Legacy Collection 1, it's fantastic. Head to top, bottom to toe, head to toe. There you go, that's the word. Head to toe.
Tip to tat.
Yeah, it's like you get like the best games ever, and like you can switch them from English to Japanese if that's your bag or whatever, and like yeah, and like they have good trophies in it, and like trophies that like try to like do little different things with it. Like getting like the Z Saber and X3, which is like not the hardest thing to do, but like it's so convoluted. It's not what you have to do to get that. So
it's random. It like you were mentioning with the Z Saber, it's like you can't use Zero for any of the mid bosses except the one at the very end of the game.
Like, how would you supposed to figure that out, type of thing? So
without that guide or without guides and internet and stuff, I'm right there. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like for you, Scott, like X is your favorite, right? Like like how are the other ones for you? How do they stand for you?
I really enjoy X2 and X3 and X4. I think they're very strong. gameplay wise, I think X5 and X6 are still fairly like I enjoy the gameplay of them. I think they suffer from really shoddy translations, and X5 was supposed to be the end of the series, and then there's like, let's make money, let's make X6. So I gameplay wise, I don't have an issue with them. I did think it was funny how the translator for X5 really liked Guns N' Roses, so she renamed the Maverick bosses in X5 for her boyfriend after the artist in Guns N' Roses. If you don't know that, there's a little bit of trivia for you. But
Duff McWhalen.
Duff McWhalen, man. Axl Rose.
Love it.
I don't. It makes. I still can't wrap my head around why they made it 2 volumes, considering it was released on the same day. I think they would have done fine if they released it as a single collection and then made it 30 or maybe even 40. I think it still would have been okay, but
I mean, the bundle is the bundle is $40, so like
exactly. But I don't know why they made it an X collection 1 and 2. That
I'm assuming it's because of the Switch, probably.
What, like
or maybe just because the other Legacy collection was like that, or just to separate the good ones from the bad ones. I don't know.
But the other Legacy collection, I agree with, because the first collection was released by itself and they didn't know how it was going to be. With the second collection, it came out like 8 months or a year later, so it was separate. That makes sense. But with literally releasing it on the same day and having more than enough space on even the Switch cartridge, it shouldn't have been released as 2 separate collections.
Yeah, I get you.
But no, I love the X games. I really do. I'm hoping if they do release a Mega Man X9, we'll get some sort of info on or transitioning into the Elf Wars that's mentioned in the Mega Man Zero games. Because I think that there's so much lore that's missing between the X and Zero games that I would love to play and experience, that I really hope we get those in the future games. Exactly like how I'm hoping Mega Man 11 at least teases or does something with the gap between Mega Man and Mega Man X series. That's what I want to play. That's what I want to know about. So
it's weird that there's barely any connection to them. Like, you had the Dr. Light thing, but like there's like not even like a hint to it. Like the only time like they ever really crossed over was the Saturday morning cartoon show. Like X was in the Mega Man cartoon, but that's not even like really canon or anything. But
it's actually his Final Smash. It's like the biggest Mega Man crossover in video game history.
Right. We know Wily made Zero. We know at some point Dr. Light made X. At the end of Mega Man 11, there was that whole robo-fluenza virus or something that's strangely similar to the Zero virus. So it's just like, I think there's so much lore and cool stuff you could do between like Mega Man and Mega Man X, showing like, does Mega Man have to fight like a Proto Zero or something like that? That could be really cool.
I always thought like
Zero.
I always thought like that was somewhat base, but that never came to be or something like that. Like, I don't know, like they seem like kind of Zero-esque, but I don't know.
Well, I want to say it was maybe last year that there was that Capcom release design document for the X series or something that connected that it looks like Zero is actually based off of Proto Man instead of base. I'll have to send you a link or something for it, but it was very interesting. But there's so many questions and things that I would love to see in terms of the gameplay and lore and just overall story that I would love to see from Mega Man to Mega Man X and X to Zero. I think they just have a treasure trove of things they could do cool stuff with. So
I agree.
Can I get a quick hype check from both of you? Where are we at with Mega Man 11?
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
I'm excited. I think from everything I've seen, it seems pretty solid. I like the graphical style they're going with.
Yeah, I think it looks good.
I like the Boss Masters that they've released and talked about, like Blast Man and stuff like that. So I'm excited for it, and I think it's incredibly smart of them to release it at what $30. I think it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's not going to be 60. So I think that's incredibly smart. So
Yeah.
bring back Mega Man.
Yeah, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Bring back Mega Man. He's not dead anymore.
If I do have like one criticism about the Legacy Collection, because I think it's like perfect, like one top to bottom, bottom top head to toe. But the only criticism I have is just like the X challenges. The thing where it has like 2 bosses from my two Mavericks from like 2 different games like coming together and like fighting all at once. Like it's cool and like the stuff they have for it, like the options they have for you is fun, but like the issue is like it's not balanced whatsoever. So like they'll have stages where like you'll have like something like Armadillo and like Storm Eagle or something like that, and like I'm just saying this as an example, but like they'll put in like an Armadillo stage, so like that kind of like negates Storm Eagle almost entirely because all his whole point is to like to kind of push you off the stage more or less. So like if there's nothing to push you off, like that's kind of silly and stupid, and like, he's just pretty much a target. Like he just like stand against the wall and just keep shooting at him. So like it's not really balanced. They didn't really like think it all the way through. It's cool though, and like I like the concept of it. But like it could be better, and it's stupid hard on normal. I just put it on easy and just like went through it. So.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did too. And I'm curious what you feel. The armor, like the special armor they gave, I felt was such a cop out and poorly colored.
It's just the ultimate armor, just in a different color. It's
Exactly.
garbage.
And even especially with the other color, like the when you're using the Maverick colors or the Maverick weapons and it recolors, it's so I feel it's so washed out and ugly looking. It's like it's such a cop out and a lazy attempt. I love the idea of it, but it was so lazily done. Like in some of the images when you're like teleporting out of a level, the fists are like just outlined in pure black. It's like, really? I don't know much about pixel art, but I'm pretty sure having just like stark black outlines of the fist just, you could have done that better. But I do like the idea, but it's crazy hard, like you were saying. I'd put it to easy too. It's just like not worth it. I just wanted the trophy.
Exactly.
There it is. Is that
But yeah, highly recommended. Yeah, Legacy Collection #1, highly recommended. That's everything I've been playing.
Cool. What about Rayman Legends? You wrote that down.
Oh, I played it with my nephew. There's nothing really much to talk about that. And Splatoon 2. But like,
that game's good. Rayman Legends, good video game.
It is.
Logan recently played it for the first time. He's like, "Hey guys, this game's fucking good." I was like, "Yeah, dude." His music levels. Other Scott Guthier. What you been playing, man?
Tony, if I got sucked into a game of Stellaris.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That game's fun.
2.1 came out,
Okay, cool.
which changes everything about the game.
Great. I feel like
the core idea is the same.
that happens every time with Stellaris. It's like, there's a big update, and here we are.
Yeah, the core of the game is the same, but all the numbers are different.
Okay.
So everything you knew about building your ships is a lie.
Man, that would stress me out so much.
Man, you got to get in on Stellaris.
I
Alex.
do.
This shit's so good.
It's really good.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
The war has changed.
War never changes.
War has changed.
War's changed. Fucking old Snake lighting up on a spaceship that it took him 3 years to build.
So before you kind of just went to war, you took what you could, and I forget exactly how the old system worked, but there was a point system for how many essentially systems you lost over the war and had to retake, and for how much of your fleet was destroyed along the way.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever had more points had more leverage and could basically get more shit.
Okay.
Now you have to claim other people's territories before you go to war, which costs influence.
Oh. That is
which
cool.
is which is the resource you use to expand.
Yeah. Huh. I'm curious.
So you can only take as much as you claimed. and in order to take it, you still have to take it.
I like that. It's kind of like calling the corner in pool. Yeah, it's like
Well,
I'm gonna take
before
this
it
one.
was you would take as much as you could to get points, and then you told them what you wanted to take,
Yeah. No,
and
it's reverse.
things would add up. But now it's you have to do that beforehand, and then you have to go and you have to get it.
Mm-hmm. That's kind
And
of cool though.
there's a war exhaustion mechanic, so if the war goes on too long, it gives you a warning, and then if you hit 100%, the AI don't suffer from this problem. But if you hit 100% war exhaustion, you have 2 years to end the. You have 2 years before the war automatically ends.
Got it.
Hmm.
Stressing. That sounds more stressful. Great.
It's way more stressful.
This is a little bit of an aside. Are there any new late game extinction events or whatever they were called?
Like Endgame Crises.
Yeah, Endgame Crisis.
I think there's 2.
They tend to add like 1 or 2 with every expansion.
Because those are so cool. It's still like one of my favorite parts about Stellaris.
Yeah, the game that we're in now, there's a war. The crisis that we have is a war in heaven,
Nice.
where two fallen empires basically just decided to go to war, and they go around asking every civilization, "Hey, are you joining us or them?" And then you fight.
That sounds all right. How many of you guys are playing this game?
There are 4 of us. Yeah, 4.
Cool, man. Anything else, Scott, you want to bring up?
Well, we touched on expansion just a tad bit.
Mm-hmm.
In order to expand before, it kind of worked like Civ. Every so often, you would auto expand your borders, and whatever was in your borders, you would basically get.
Yeah.
No, that this is 100% active now. Every single star system that you come across, you have to claim,
Cool.
which again costs influence.
Yeah, they ended up doing stuff like that in the last expansion for Civ 5. Not quite to that extent, but making it so like you had to kind of go out there and take territory, specifically with trade routes. I thought that was it was a way more engaging system, I thought. So that sounds cool.
Do you guys play Galactic Civilization? It kind of sounds similar to that.
Okay, so the big difference
Or what's
between
the difference?
Stellaris and Civ is that everything in Stellaris, from start to finish, is in real time.
Oh, okay.
Your space battles to your building,
Yeah, it's not turn-based at all, right?
it's not turn-based at all.
Yeah. And
Interesting.
that's why it sounds like a way more engaging multiplayer
Oh, yeah.
game.
It is.
Yeah.
And
Much more tense.
we play with people who have no chill. We play on fastest from start to finish.
Hell yeah. It's all
YOLO.
That's just me kind of trying to desperately hold onto the rope as it slips out of my hand.
YOLO strats.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't need to play Stellaris because that sounds too stressful.
It's not that bad.
When you're learning,
Mm-hmm.
you get through your first war on normal, and we'll play with the speed to speed it up and bring it down based on how much time you need to learn.
Yeah.
But once you start to get going, we have no chill.
Absolutely.
You're constantly doing something, or you're doing something wrong.
I like it. Anything else on Stellaris, Scott? Game's good.
Let's see.
Scott's gonna die. That's a development.
Yeah, we ended up quitting last time because a recent problem appeared. A recent problem sprouted up where the game will desync, and it will desync all the clients permanently. They won't ever truly gain it back.
Oh man.
It's weird because half the stuff works, but half of it doesn't work properly. For example, the war in heaven happened, so we're like, okay, eventually we're going to get a message, asking us to join the faction or to stay the fuck out of the way.
I like that. Yeah.
So one of us gets this message, and nobody else does for quite a long time. But it's kind of normal, so they take their time with it generally. But out of nowhere, I become vassalized by one of the fallen empires, which is an awoken empire at this point. And somebody else goes ahead and joins one of the factions.
So now you're like enemies, right?
So yeah, we were on opposite sides, and that happened without our knowledge.
Oh no, that sucks.
So it didn't just happen without our knowledge, but it wasn't even effective until we said, "Is this actually happening?" We stopped the game, then we reloaded it, and then I proceeded to get overwhelmed by the entire left side of the map.
Yeah, that sucks. Was that the game that you're playing now, or is that a previous?
Yeah,
one?
we're going to continue,
Okay.
but we're calling BS on that situation.
Yeah.
So we loaded a save that was like 2 years before that point, or
No
we're
biggie.
going to load the save that's like 2 years before that point.
Got it. To kind of undo that. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not something that's forced. It's basically we were supposed to get the message and we didn't, and we got timed out.
Yeah. That sucks.
Is it an early release or something?
No.
No, it's they released the section of updates fairly recently,
Okay.
and
Still working.
it might. I honestly think that it has something to do with one of the mods we're playing with.
Okay. Never trust a mod. Have you been playing any other video games, Scott?
No, that was the extra video game time.
Okay.
That was it.
Tony.
That was like 6 hours of Stellaris,
That sounds all right though.
maybe more.
Tony Horvath, what you been playing, man? Video games. Fill me with them.
Okay, so obviously Stellaris.
Yes.
Did a bunch of that. It's a long time. Stellaris takes a long time. It's just like Civ.
Yeah. It's a commitment.
And then let me see. I'll save the other one, but we've been playing some Puzzle and Dragons.
Pad.
Yeah,
Nice.
I remember this time.
yeah. There you
Unlike
go.
last week where I
You're hip
literally
with the
forgot
kids.
midway through the show.
Yeah, that game. There's just a bunch of stuff happening.
Man.
So, and it's like, like new evolution of this card that used to be good, but kind of fell out of being one of the better cards coming out. So there's all this shit you have to do to get the materials to make the new version of the card, so you can keep using this card and have it be really good. And this is like that times, 50 different cards that you're working on at any point to make your box full of dragons and anime characters look cooler. It's pretty cool.
Is there a game time counter for Puzzle and Dragons?
No.
Okay. Is there a level count for Puzzle and Dragons? Do you have a
Yeah.
level?
Mm-hmm.
What level are you?
390.
How long would you say it takes to go up each level?
Depends. It's like you could, if you're trying to level up, which no one really tries to level up, and there's a reason for that, then you can level up fast. But like I said, no one really is ever trying to level up in that game, because you try and do it in a smart way, because every time you level up, your stamina gets refilled, which is you have a cap of that based on your level, and you get one back every 3 to 5 minutes, and you use that for every dungeon, like 50 to 100 of it, for the bigger dungeons. So people will try and time out their level ups so that they can make the most use of all of their stamina, and do stuff like that. So while like level is definitely an indicator of progress, it's not necessarily a hard and fast indicator of progress.
Okay. Just trying to get it at like a clock. idea. You know
Yeah,
me.
so
I'm digging.
basically the indicator of progress is the amount of most recent dungeons that you can clear.
The amount of anime girls you have in your deck or whatever.
So like a milestone is basically being up to date enough to clear the monthly challenge level 10.
Okay.
Which generally slowly increases in difficulty as time goes on.
Got it.
And then the current end game content is Ultimate Arenas.
Nice. That sounds cool.
Every 3 or 4 months or so, they'll come out with another one.
How many of those do you have complete, Tony?
I don't know.
Hella.
One.
That many. One.
He has one complete.
There you go. Tony, the total quick aside. Do you remember that Vita game where you had to like rub the cards?
Yep.
Yeah. Do you remember what that was called?
No.
Monster Moppy?
Yeah, that one.
Monster Mom Piece. Yeah. Do you remember this game, Scott? Scott White?
Yeah.
I reviewed it.
I never picked it up, but I remember kind of the backlash and just the back and forth between with it being censored coming over to the West and everything along those lines. I remember it being discussed and how the cards were censored and changed because it was coming to the West, and how dare you change our 10-year-old looking girls to
when are they going to learn that people in the West want titties too?
Yeah, finally. Asking the hard questions, Tony.
It's
Stop
not
censoring.
It's not the titties that matters. It's the titties on girls that look like they're only 10 years old.
It's the thick thighs.
The problem.
I get it.
Yeah, it's the thick thighs. Yeah.
Hashtag thick thighs.
Thick thighs save lives. Okay. I just wanted to. I wanted to know the name of that game. Thank you, Navishin.
You reviewed it, right?
I did review that game. I think I gave it a 6, either a 5 or a 6. That game's not good. It's okay. It's like barely okay. It's very offensive though. What else have you been playing, Tony? I'm sorry. Continue.
So I think I play some League of Legends, obviously.
Obviously.
League of Legends is pretty good. Pretty decent game.
Yeah.
Didn't they just change the loot box system or something with League of Legends? How you can see what's in it?
They've changed it. I mean, if they have, I haven't been paying attention. To be honest with you, I don't know.
Loot boxes in League of Legends now, Tony?
They've had loot boxes in League of Legends for a long time.
Fuck.
Yeah.
World is a different place.
Yeah, right? I know.
I want to pull up one of these days, like an episode of IP from 2011 where you're just telling me about your fucking League grind. Like, you're telling me a hardcore, and Joe's like, I'm going to fucking play League of Legends.
Yeah, I remember that happening.
And then he was immediately hard out.
Fact.
I'll put together a League of Legends Tony Horvath collab episode. We'll put it out as a bonus episode. I'll never do that. Please do not hold me to that.
Do a top 10 list of the best League of Legends mentions.
Tony's 10 best League of Legends mentions in Irrational Passions podcast. What's the big one? What's the one that you're keeping secret?
Yeah, so I have been playing No Man's Sky.
Oh fuck!
Oh,
after you talked all that
yeah.
shit last week.
Yeah, I don't know. I still kind of hold, I agree with what I said last week, but at the same time, like, also, I kind of don't. I think I kind of got over it.
Okay.
It's just like, I'm willing to, they put a bunch of work into the game, and I'm willing to give it that shot.
Have you also checked out No Man's Sky, Scott White, or?
I have. I reinstalled it on my PS4 and I picked it up on PC.
What do you think, Tony? How you feeling?
So I started playing. So we're playing with 4 of us, and now Scott said right before the show he's going to get it. So 5 of us.
Yep.
It's the same as it was, right? Like, it's still No Man's Sky. A lot of the stuff is, the core base experience of No Man's Sky is the same.
Mm-hmm.
You're going around, you're shooting a lot of rocks with your laser, and you're, holding F on the keyboard and looking at a monster, and it gives it a name, and you get some credits for it, and then you fly to a space station, and and do all that shit. But like the stuff around it, like there are big freighter ships, and you can build a base, and you can play multiplayer. Obviously, is the huge thing. That all that kind of dressing to it makes it actually feel like it's more rewarding to play. And when I was actually playing No Man's Sky when it came out for like the 3 days that I played it, like it wasn't a bad experience. I played a lot of No Man's Sky in those 3 days to experience what was there. And I think that they've done a good job of making what is there more fun to experience. And I think No Man's Sky is definitely the kind of game where you want to be able to have your friends, just pop in and pop out. And the way that they've done that multiplayer integration is really just like when you start the game, it's like, hey, do you want to make your own game and just play and people can join you, or do you want to specifically join someone's game? And if you do that, then your friends can just say, I want to join someone's game. They join your game, and it just puts them on the same system as you. So they can fly up and build a base right next to you, or do whatever you can do whatever you want. And we haven't really figured out how to trigger like the multiplayer missions yet, but I know they're in there. So it's interesting, and like it's cool being able to experience it with everything they've added over the past 2 years. Because last time I played on PS4 was like 4 days after it came out. So everything they've ever added is kind of like just a new experience,
which is not an insignificant amount of stuff.
No, it's definitely not an insignificant amount of things.
Yeah, they've been working on that game for a while. I mean, 2 years. So
yeah.
In other words, it's almost like it should have came out last week.
Yeah, and it brings up a really, I've been thinking about it a lot just because like the whole, I have my whole thing about like early access stuff just in general. Like it's a bit of a hang up for me. And essentially No Man's Sky was in early access for 2 years, and now this is like in a way the 1.0 that they the ideal picture that they had promised forever ago. But also like I recognize that game wouldn't be what it is now in this No Man's Sky Next world without it having come out 2 years ago. It's a catch-22 of like they did need to put it out in order for it to make them money, keep them going, and for them to want to update it. But also like it's a bummer that it had to have that huge disappointment for us to get here.
Yeah.
But I'm glad.
Yeah, you worked for Destiny.
It did work for Destiny, and it seems to be working for No Man's Sky. Like, people are genuinely jazzed about that game, and that's cool. Like, I'm glad that you don't necessarily have to have that guilt for liking No Man's Sky, like a lot of people who liked the original No Man's Sky had. And I'm impressed by their dedication to this game. Like, it's been 2 full years.
While yes, definitely, I think that at the same time they also kind of had to.
Yeah, like they didn't have any other choice, right?
They did it to themselves.
Hello Games couldn't go out and make another game because that game would have tanked.
Yeah, I agree.
Now that they've done this to No Man's Sky, the cool thing is like like they're talking about doing kind of challenges every week, and seasons and stuff like that for No Man's Sky, which is rad since it is now a multiplayer game. But also like they can move on to a new thing guilt free, right? With a clear conscience, and I think that's cool. Not that I think they will anytime soon. I think they're going to keep with this game for a while.
Yeah, and the big other thing is like that they are starting what they're calling like their beginning of their weekly updates to this game, and they'll be doing other stuff, and that's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to live in a world where we can feel good about No Man's Sky. As weird as that sounds. What do you think of it, Scott?
I haven't tried it yet.
Scott, what do you think of it, Professor Scott?
It reminds me a lot of the whole issue with Final Fantasy XIV transitioning to Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn. I think a lot of the issue with No Man's Sky was done to themselves by themselves, like with all the promises they made. I think had Sean Murray not made so many promises and gone out and said so many things, I think it wouldn't have been received as poorly. But it is good to see all the things they've added, to the fact that they're all free editions and not like paid DLC. I think is a huge for them. I'm happy to see that a lot of people are playing it again. I'm happy to see that it seems to be getting fairly good responses and reviews to it. That's always good to see. It just reminds me, like I was saying, it reminds me a lot of the Final Fantasy 14 backlash, and then Square being like, okay, we're going to make right by the players, and then spending years making Realm Reborn a much better game. So I'm hoping that is the same kind of thing that happens with No Man's Sky, because I think the idea of it is incredibly strong, and I think it scratches that itch that a lot of people have, the idea of exploration and space and finding new things with your friend. I think it could do all of that, and I'm hoping that's what it does do. That everyone at Hello Games and Sean Murray and all of them do reach the acclaim and kind of the love and dedication to No Man's Sky that they promised back 2 years ago with the original release. So I'm hopeful. I've been playing it a bit as well. I think it's got a lot of cool additions to it. I'm anxious to play with other players as well, test out the multiplayer. So I'm hopeful. I'm very, very hopeful for it.
Cool.
Like the only pushback I have of what you said is like I think the difference between No Man's Sky and Final Fantasy 14 was that when they released Final Fantasy 14, they didn't see it as a flow game at first. It's just like they just thought it was they just made their game and just made it similar to 11. It's just that they weren't up to the times and not up to the standards of what normal RPGs, MMORPGs were like. So like they just didn't know, and it's like, oh, we should fix this to just to fix it. So
and optimization, like they spent so many resources just to make it look really, really pretty that it just performed horribly on tons of computers. Like I think I remember reading an article where it was like they spent like 1 million polygons or something on like every barrel just so it looked like a really good barrel spread across the environment. It's like, yeah, that's cool, but you know, people play on like modern computers and they can't render like 50 million polygons worth of barrels just for shits and giggles, you know. It's
Yeah. Gotta get those priorities in order. I'm cool.
hashtag barrel.
I'm glad you gave it a shot, Tony.
Yeah. We're probably gonna play it, a bit over the next couple weeks, and I'll keep reporting in and let you know what's going on.
If listeners out there want to play
runs out
with you guys, maybe they could join the Irrational Passions Discord and
hit me
guys
up. Have me on Steam, and you should be able to just join at any point.
Go fuck up the solar system.
The irrational empire of planets, man.
Yeah, dude.
You're gonna take over the galaxy.
I remember when I played No Man's Sky the first time, I was just like, I'm gonna name everything Alex. I'm gonna get as many Alexes out there.
Look at all these Alexes.
I named planets twitch.tv/SolidSnake120. I just like self-promotion everywhere.
Yeah.
Planets upon planets.
That no one will ever see.
Nope. But they'll be there 10 years from now when someone stumbles upon it. Be like, oh, what's this?
Will someone stumble upon them, though?
Well, if they do, they're going to be treated to a 40-plus-year-old dude playing video games from the 90s.
Fuck yeah.
Playing some hot Tales games on his streams.
Some Tales and Mega Man X, dude, man. Look forward to it.
I was going to play No Man's Sky. I ended up. I think my brother got rid of the copy that he had, so I now have no access to it. But is that all you've been playing, Tony?
I think so. Yeah.
Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Scott and I played some video games. Professor Scott and I, and we'll get into those. So you know it's about to get fucking weeby when we get back. It's gonna be some JRPGs like some shit.
2 hours of Tales of Vesperia discussion.
I would do that, but I don't want to lose my co-hosts forever.
Good point.
So we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we've got that. I did not pull any news this week, so we're just not gonna do news. We did get a voicemail and a couple of questions, so we'll go through those as well, and then we'll make some bets and throw it out. So we will be back in just a little bit.
Choo choo choo.
back live so people can see this dog.
Man.
This is Suki.
Oh my god, I love her. You don't see a lot of like black Shiba Inus out there.
No, it's all the red ones because that's what was made popular by Doge. But this is my Doge. This is Suki.
I'm dying.
She's kind of sleepy right now.
I feel that.
How is she? Is she like a sweetheart, or is she kind of like aggressive?
Standoffish.
No, she's sassy. I would say that. Like once she gets to know you and she's seen you a few times, she's much better, and she likes to get pets. But she likes to bark at people she doesn't know.
Oh yeah. I lived with my roommate who had a Shiba Inu. I've been with him since since he's been born. So like I understand that like they're very like aggressive as far as new people.
I wouldn't say she's aggressive. She just likes to vocally let me know when new people are around. She gets along better with people when they're kind of sitting down or chilling. She does not like when people are standing up.
Nicole Humphrey in the chat is all about this fucking dog right now.
Does she like small people or children?
Yeah, she's done well with my nephews. She hasn't been around many like young children. But I mean, she absolutely loves my nephews.
This Kodo hates he hates short small people like so much, man. Like he just like not necessarily attacking, but he's just like it's like this growls anytime like we bring kids when we used to bring kids around their place, and like they just don't even deal with it anymore.
My dog Belle, when I was growing up, she hated long hair. That was her thing.
Yeah.
So like any girls that came over with long hair, she would like snap at their hair, which is terrifying. So I feel like my like 4 straight days of barely any sleep is like catching up with me physically right now, and it is killing me. It's one of those things where I'm just thinking about it and I just feel like I'm dying.
Do you work this weekend, or can you kind of just relax?
I work tomorrow. Originally, I was going to work 7 a.m. tomorrow, but luckily I got that traded. So it was one of those things where I said, like, I would like to get more than 6 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But yes, she's kind of stubborn, Nicole in chat. She's a bit stubborn, but I think that's a breed thing too, so.
Yeah, totally.
But she's a sweetie. She's sassy, but she's a princess, but.
You guys want to get back to it?
Sure, I'll let Suki go back to sleep.
Bye,
on
Suki.
Her couch,
I love you.
On her throne. Here, you want to get down? You want to get down? Here, I'll take you back to your couch.
Man,
There you go.
I miss having a dog.
I'm back.
Oh, she's shedding. There's so much hair everywhere now.
You miss the dog, Scott.
Oh,
It's all right. She's still sleeping on the couch, so.
So much hair. So much hair.
Hell yeah.
Shiba's shed also, so if you ever want a Shiba, just be aware that they blow coat like 80 times a year.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I grew up with St. Bernards, man. I know all about blowing coat.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
you got a brush
Cool.
Gotta get that brush, man. Gus
You
has
know
his
it.
own goddamn brush.
every day.
Every day. Tony, you're here, right?
Yeah.
I love that delayed response. All right. And we are back. Hey, everybody. Welcome back.
You welcome back.
Thank you. Scott. Professor Scott. Senor
Sup, dude?
Scott. Video games. What you been playing?
I've been playing so much stuff, dude. Like I mentioned previously, I've been playing through the Tales series, so I've been playing through the Tales of Exilia. Been playing through that. That's been enjoyable. Replaying that, so that's been good.
How do you feel? Not at all related to Xillia itself, but how do you feel about Xillia 2?
It's been a while. I haven't really played it since I beat it when it first came out, but I have to I think it had a much darker story to it than the original Exilia. I wasn't a fan of how the main protagonist was voiceless until you beat the game and then unlocked the character from Luger from talking. I like the swapping of swapping of equipment. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yes, very cool.
I think it did some cool things, but the whole let's pay off our debt to progress the story was kind of stupid.
Such a terrible mechanic.
That's locking story behind things like that, or like paying off a debt has never been done well, I feel.
Yeah.
So I don't think it wasn't as strong as the original Exilia, but I think it was still fun with the linking, because linking and everything was back with that. So
yeah, I like the combat system of those two games. Like the first one, especially because it was more focused on the link system. I loved comboing with the link system. I just thought it was so satisfying.
It was such a cool idea, being like each character having their own benefit or special ability that triggered if you linked with them. I thought it pushed the Tales series forward. Like I felt Vesperia pushed the Tales series forward. I think there was a big jump from Tales of the Abyss to Vesperia, and I think there was another pretty big leap from Vesperia to Exilia.
Yeah.
And
we don't talk about Graces.
I liked Graces. Replaying Graces, I actually really like Graces. Graces is my favorite version of the title system.
Yes, you said this to me, and
Yes.
buck wild to me. I respect that.
I felt like titles actually mattered in Graces, and that is how you learn new skills and arts and buffs. I thought that was really cool. That each title had their own unique aspects to them, like some prevented silence or things along those lines. I thought that was interesting. And the doll system that you could unlock after you beat the game, I thought was brilliant and needs to be brought back. How you could have an entire party of a single character.
Yeah.
I thought that was brilliant, and it was just fun. It didn't make any sense whatsoever, but it was a fun mechanic for fun's sake that I think a lot of games don't have.
Yeah. For me, like I think I just get so hung up on how the combat feels in Graces. And it wasn't until Berseria where like that kind of change perspective combat really clicked for me.
Not a fan of the CC system?
CC's okay. I liked in Xillia where like your CC like all fully regens like instantly. Like I think that was the better of the two ways to do it. Like Zestiria was kind of there, but like obviously like the combo system in Tales of Berseria, and I know like we're just speaking fucking gibberish to people that don't know what we're talking about. But like the whole combo system of using like this character ability to like link together different combos and chains of attacks, I thought was just so good. And it was the way to do like the weird like crystals. What do they call them in Berseria? Do you remember? Like the number of attacks you had, those like little crystals, like the way.
I don't remember what the crystals were called now.
The way you had your combo can be 4 hits, like the end. But you can like sacrifice 1 to cancel and like restart your combo, and then if you attack weaknesses, you get them back. And it was such a cool like it was very small, like it was still like 3 to 4 to 5 top hits. So it was pretty easy to understand, but you could like create these 15 to 16 hit combos if you really understood the system, and it was just so cool.
Oh, Berserker was fantastic. I actually played as I didn't play through as Velvet.
You played as
I played through Aizen. I went through as Aizen with the punching.
Yeah, he was the second most fun to play, I thought.
I gave him the hat hair, the slick back hair, and sunglasses, and he looked like Fantasy Wesker from Resident Evil.
Hell yeah.
So I just called him Wesker the entire time. It was great.
How's going back through the Tales series treating you?
I'm really enjoying it. It's what I found most enjoyable and kind of interesting is kind of playing them in order, is seeing how big of jumps occurred between the games. Especially between Destiny and Eternia, I felt like there was a really big jump in terms of quality and how they kind of really tightened things down in the mechanics. that's one like prior to replaying the series, I've never been a huge fan of Eternia, which is Tales of Destiny 2 in the States. But replaying it, I enjoyed it more. I realized that it was much more. It was a much tighter experience, and they improved a lot over the previous game, Tales of Destiny. Same with Graces. Like, I never hated Graces, but it was never up there as like my favorites. But replaying it recently, it's after coming from Symphonia and Abyss and things along in those other games, they really did a lot of things kind of cool, like taking the title's mechanic and making it worthwhile. And I've always really liked the combat system of Graces. I've thought it's been it's been deeper compared to other Tales games, which I kind of like.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm appreciating each game more and seeing how it's taken the series to the next step.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I've appreciated and kind of realized more playing through the entire series so far.
One of the big things that I've really been is I feel like I've probably noticed it before replaying Tales of Vesperia. Is like, so, you know, like typically most players are probably going to play that whole game as just Yuri, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which how most people play the Tales games, how I play them predominantly. Xillia was like the first one where I dabbled with other characters because they're two protagonists, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
But I love, and I'm sure you play. When did you play Vesperia?
I haven't actually played Vesperia yet.
Okay, are you gonna wait for the
Well,
definitive?
I played and beat it when it came out originally on Xbox 360, so I have played it.
Mm-hmm.
But the next game I was scheduled to play in my Trial of Tales event was Vesperia before E3, and then they announced the remastered collection, or the remastered edition.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm holding off, and I'm going to play through my Vesperia 24-hour stream, because that's what was voted on. I'm going to do a 24-hour live stream of Vesperia. But Vesperia, I love the skill system. I think how they dealt with abilities and skills, I thought was really well done.
That's exactly what I was going to bring up.
How the weapons and equipment kind of, as you use them, you can then equip the skills that they kind of impart. It reminded me a lot of Final Fantasy IX. And I thought it's a very... It's one of those simple but yet rewarding systems that RPGs have, I felt. Just the more you use something, you learn an ability. I thought that was very strong in Vesperia, along with the characters. I thought that those were two of the stronger aspects of Vesperia.
Yeah.
Were the characters and kind of the mechanics to it. So... I'm looking forward to it this year, since it sounds like it is going to be this year. So,
what's cool is just like going back through that, and again, so I predominantly play as Yuri, right? And I'm so used to playing as him, and as that game goes on, like you get skills for that character that make a lot of sense for him, and like his abilities. Are very like rapid attacks, like all of his special abilities and stuff like that. And the skills that you learn for him help him basically cancel moves, any ability into any other ability. So you can create these huge long strings of combos, and then like one of his final sub weapons that he gets has like this these three skills that are like get a 24 hit combo or 28 hit combo, and you go into what's like the special state called overlimit, level 1, and then if you get a 52 hit combo, you go into overlimit level 2, and then if you get a 74 hit combo, you get into overlimit level 3, and from level 3 overlimit you can do like your big special move. So basically Yuri's gameplay style for me at the end of that game is like chaining together hits into like this 70 plus hit combo, and then going into his like super special moves at the end of that. And it's just like, it is such a satisfying loop that is like the way the skills, the weapons, and the abilities all tie to that character is so specific and well done.
Mm-hmm.
And like going through and getting all the weapon skills, just grinding it out for all the other characters, like there is that level of attention to detail for every single character. And I never play as any of them. Like Rapide, the cool dog that smokes a pipe, like he's got all these skills that increase his movement and attack and special speed during overlimit. So is like he just becomes like this unstoppable, super fast force of nature very quickly. And no other character is like that. Just like Judith, the spear wielding like elf woman, she like all of her skills are tied to using her special abilities in the air, and she gets like more skill points back, more MP back for doing those things in the air. As you get more and more skills, and it's like, man, like they really thought this through for not just the one character that most people are going to play, but for every character. It's just really cool.
And especially with the Tales series, but it can be applied to a lot of action RPGs that I found. I find action RPGs to be much more fun to grind in, as opposed to turn-based.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, like I remember making notes in like a little notebook on how to grade farm, which for those of you who haven't played Tales games, there's a fantastic new game plus where you can get all sorts of bonuses, but it uses a resource called grade that you accumulate through playing a game. It's called grade. But I remember writing down a way to like farm grade, which involved Rita, which is a spellcaster casting a spell called Tidal Wave, but using an ability that makes it so every hit she does is only does 1 damage. So I would, a few times I remember on my Xbox 360 version, I would go to sleep and rubber band the joystick so it would just keep running in a circle. And I had Rita's AI set so she would only cast Tidal Wave over and over, so it would rack up the hit multiplier, which would increase the grade. But with Rita, I can't remember what skill it was, but eventually she would just, whenever she would cast Tidal Wave, she would just say, blah, blah, blah. Like, blub, blub.
Yeah.
So it was just constantly, my TV would just be blub, 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 while Rita was casting this, and it's just... Vesperia was one of the reasons I got a 360, hands down. That and like Infinite Undiscovery or Lost Odyssey, it's just, those were why I got an Xbox 360.
Someone who remembers Infinite Undiscovery.
Dude, I liked that game by Tri-Ace. It's a good one.
Never played it. I got my 360 for Gears of War 2, but I'd like to think in reality I got it for Tales of Vesperia. I just didn't know it yet. What else have you been playing, Scott?
Mega Man Legacy Collection, like I was talking with Nabashin earlier, that's been fantastic. I played the occasional Fortnite round before bed on my Nintendo Switch. Earthfall, I've been playing with other members of the Irrational Passion game, Mr. Logan, Jarrett, and Mike.
Yeah, you guys been
we've been
crushing aliens.
Through that. Yeah, we've been shooting aliens, man. That's been a lot of fun.
You guys should stream that. I feel like that would be a fun.
We've talked about it. We're trying to figure it out. We're past the halfway point in terms of the campaigns that are currently released. It's Left 4 Dead with aliens. I mean, that descriptor pretty much sums up what you get with the game. It's not as refined because it wasn't done by a giant studio like Valve, but it's still a fun game. We've been enjoying it. Playing it with friends has been fantastic. It's been a lot of fun, a lot of funny moments. So I definitely recommend it if you have some friends that are also Left 4 Dead enthusiasts that want to shoot aliens instead of zombies. I would definitely recommend it. It's a lot of fun. So
it was one of those things I want to check out. Maybe I'll still get to it at some point, but
yeah.
I'm just playing Tales of Vesperia, man, making mistakes.
Oh, it's such a good game. And then I had to blame you, Alex, because I was watching your stream of Resident Evil 5, And right around that time, the PlayStation Store had a sale on like all the Resident Evil games that are released on the PS4 and those. So I just went on like a bending binge, and I picked up Revelations 1 and 2. I picked up Code Veronica. I picked up the PS4 port of Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 6, and I'm gonna.
Well, you made at least one mistake.
Which would that be?
Resident Evil 6, but listen,
It was like $5, so it's like whatever. I'm weird. Like I need a. If I start buying a series of games, I need to get them all on the same platform.
I love that.
It's crazy.
That is.
Did either of you guys end up getting the Stun Club in Resident Evil 5, by the way?
I have never used it. I remember somebody, it might have been you in chat saying.
I was in the chat that you should get it because it's crazy overpowered. But
That sounds all right.
it's crazy overpowered. It's stupid.
Yeah, man, I'm on a Resident Evil kick, dude. Like, I reinstalled Resident Evil 7 last night.
Yeah. The only Resident Evil game I've ever beaten is Resident Evil 5.
You know what? It's a great game.
It is.
Poor third act, but
Yeah.
it is a great game.
Uh-huh.
Just like every Marvel movie. That's not true. Not
The
every-
tank controls got me
Yeah, I mean,
when I was younger.
I talked about it. It was either last week or the week before of like going back and playing Resident Evil 4. Like I realized I wouldn't like that game as much if I hadn't played it before, just because like those controls really are a little buck wild for me. It's funny because like RE4 is where I'm iffy, but like I'm fine with how RE1 and 2 and 3 play because like I think they are more illustrative of that era. They look more like it, you know. They are more Final Fantasy VII adjacent Novishin. But there's something about 4 being like looking the way it does, and maybe it's because I played the remastered, but it looks so good, and it looks like it plays like a third-person shooter, but it doesn't. And there's just something off about it. Even if it played like RE5, where you can't necessarily move and aim at the same time, but you can move left and right, strafe ever at all. I think it would have aged better if that were the case. But
I remember with Resident Evil 4 the kind of outcry and kind of backlash from the change in perspective with Resident Evil 4. Do you remember that at all, Alex?
I was not on the Resident Evil bandwagon at all by that point, so it was very much over my head. That was like, yeah, like because I wouldn't get to 4 until like 4 years later or so.
But I just remember that, like, even though I had never really gotten into the Resident Evil 1 through 3 because of the tank controls, I remember the backlash and
fixed cameras, man.
This isn't Resident Evil because it doesn't have this camera angle, or et cetera, et cetera. It's just crazy to think, and now it's viewed post-release and everything as one of the best Resident Evils in the series. It's just,
yeah,
it's
I can
fun to
probably
look
remember
back.
that.
I mean, also like 7, had a fair amount of. I think there's still people that don't like that 7 is first person. But I don't know, like for the time, if you look at like games as like products of their time, especially like 7, bringing back that franchise and going for the different kind of horror vibe that it was going for, and having the influences that it did, like PT and Outlast and things like that. I like that 7 is first person. I like that it's so different, It was going for a different thing also, but
I'm still terrified to try and play that with my PSVR in the VR mode.
yeah, it's spooky as hell, man.
Terrified.
I jumped a lot when I played through sections of that game that I played through twice and knew all the twists, and I still got spooked playing through that in VR. What else you been playing, Scott?
But yeah, outside of those, it's a lot of Octopath Traveler, man.
Yeah, dude. Part of the reason why I want to have you on the show, you are the Octopath. None of us are playing Octopath Traveler. You bought it, right, Nobishin? Did you buy it? Am I making that up?
I did, but I'm trying to fix my audio. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just not my cup of tea. I think I played the demo and I was like, this is really cool. It reminds me of Bravely Default, which is not a bad thing. Great game.
Such a good game.
Just a game that I bounced off of, you know. So like ultimately, I've just decided like, you know, I'm not necessarily gonna play that right now. I doubt I'll ever play Octopath, which is a bummer. What do you think of it as like, you know, obviously a huge classic JRPG fan?
I think it definitely appeals more towards people that grew up, kind of the older crowd that grew up with more of the grindy turn-based RPGs. It's very Saga-ish, where it takes the views of multiple characters and kind of interacts with them. I have issues with it. Like, I wish each character interacted with each other more. But the combat, I think, is fantastic. Each individual story, I felt, is fairly strong. I've enjoyed each one. Really, the only complaint and kind of issue I've had with it is I wish there was more of the inter-party connection, and that you felt like the party of characters that you have were more of like a connected party, like they interacted more.
Yeah, because it's 8 individual stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
And while you can meet up and party up with the other players, like all of their stories are still completely independent of one another, right?
Right. And they don't include anything. The only real interaction between your party is these random like traveler interactions, whichever character's story you're currently taking part in will talk with whatever one of the characters that are currently in your party. And like those are very nice. I just wish there were more of them, and you kind of got an idea or got a sense that the party that you have, like all these 8 characters, were more of a united party as opposed to just 8 people that occasionally work together.
Yeah.
That's my only real complaint with it. I find that the combat is fantastic. I like the battle point mechanic. It does remind me a bit of the Bravely Default, considering the Bravely team did work on this. I love that it seems to be doing well. So I actually have a article currently that I'm working on and being edited that kind of goes into this, but it's doing incredibly well in Japan and selling out in places. So I'm hoping it does well enough for Square to realize that, holy crap, people like turn-based RPGs still, which is what we're known for. But I find it fantastic. I'm really enjoying it. I'm hoping for more from Square. It's not the perfect RPG, but I have to say I would love a Final Fantasy VI remake in the Bravely styled visual style. I love kind of the 3D pixel art aspect of it. And visually, I think and from the soundtrack perspective, fantastic. It has an amazing soundtrack.
I think it looks so good. It's so weird, like in our Slack, George and Jared are not as big a fan of it visually, but I think it's such a cool take on pixel art.
Yeah.
That I've just never seen anything like that. And like I'm all about particle effects, like that's my whole jam. And it's basically like, let's make pixel art, but make it kind of like Paper Mario 3D style.
Yeah.
And also water and sand and snow particle effects. And it's like, all right, like you checked all the boxes. Wow, that was really impressive.
Yeah. I haven't quite figured out why George does. I do not agree with George that it looks like a Unity, like a college student's Unity project. I do not see that.
George Cruz is full of hot takes, as it turns out.
It's true.
All he does is drop hot takes. I don't know. I'm glad you're digging it. I would say, like, for me, the biggest part of a JRPG probably the number one thing in any given JRPG, save for maybe, I guess just to a lesser extent, Kingdom Hearts, is like the party dynamic, right? Like the gang getting together, the group of misfits, right? That's like every JRPG in a weird way is kind of like a heist movie, and that's kind of why I love all of them. It's all about like building the team and getting this weird group of misfits and like them all uniting under a common banner. It's a trope that I just love. So.
Yeah. I wish Bravely Default was more like that. Or, excuse me, Octopath was more like that.
Yeah.
Because I don't get that whole uniting under a common banner.
Yeah.
And I'm still working through chapter 2 of whatever for the characters, so maybe they become more condensed and kind of a team later on, but each one seems so independent of each other is definitely one of the downsides to it.
Yeah.
But I'm right there with you. Like, give me a team of ragtag bunch of randos teaming up to save the world from some crazy evil, and I'm all for it.
Yeah. Or four bros driving their car.
Yeah, man.
Hanging out. Anything else you've been playing?
No, not really. What about you? What have you been playing, Mr. Alex?
Count me in, please.
Count you in? Are you ready?
Yes.
On 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Thank you.
There you go, Nabashin. Why'd you buy Bravely Default? Not Bravely Default, Octopath Traveler. Now you got me fucked up, Scott.
Bravely Default's fantastic.
Also good. Why'd you buy Octopath, Nabashin? Are you gonna get into that?
Why did I buy it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked appealing. Like, it looks pretty cool. I'm not usually into JRPGs, even though it's always a weird case with me with JRPGs. Sometimes something speaks to me, like Persona and like Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy 15. But like for like the majority of them, like I'm not necessarily into them. That one just looked cool, and like I just wanted to give it a shot. Like I said, I can't play it now because I'm playing Final Fantasy 7, and I don't want to like intermix the two. And
damn right.
I do want to give Dragon Quest 11 a shot when that comes out as well. But you know,
I can't wait.
I'm just all over the place, so we'll see what happens with that.
I got you. I played some video games. I played a whole bunch of weird random stuff. A couple of quick fire hits. I played Splinter Cell Conviction because Roger Picorni told me to. I've never played a Splinter Cell game. All right, I played one on my brother's original Xbox, and I didn't know what to do, so I quit. I played Splinter Cell Conviction. I played through the first, the kind of opening chapter, which told me that I never need to play Splinter Cell Conviction ever again. But now I know, I wouldn't have known otherwise, and now I know. That's fine. Maybe a modern Splinter Cell. Somebody do it, Ubisoft. I'd love to see your take on it. I just played a bunch of Spelunky this week for whatever reason. I hooked up my brother's PSVR to my PlayStation for reasons I'll get into in a little bit.
Batman Arkham?
No, but I should play that. Especially after that Arkham-related Hubert syndrome that is on the internet that folks should go seek out. But I did what I wanted to do ever since I heard about this thing that you could do in PSVR, which is like just put it on, lay it on my couch horizontally, and set it so like the screen that you see through VR, it's kind of like a big projection size movie screen, is just like on my ceiling, and I'm just laying on my couch looking at it, and I played Spelunky like that.
Nice.
Which is like all I wanted to do since I heard about that, and it was great. I was not disappointed. I had to like look around to see the health and everything. I just think that's great. I played a couple matches of Overwatch. It's the first time I've played in 2 months, so everything is different. I didn't even realize. I was like, I wonder if Wrecking Ball, the new character, is out, and he was. And I just played around
that day, probably.
I think it was that day. It was like Wednesday or Thursday. And he had just dropped, and I just played around with him in training mode, and that dude is fucking ridiculous. It's awesome. He just has like you could just hit L2 to shoot out a tether, and then he just starts swinging. Like wherever you're going, he's fucking swinging, and if you get fast enough, you just blast through people. And it's very dumb, but very great. He's also like the Droideka thing from Phantom Menace, the little roly guys, roly polies, which I was like obsessed with as a child, and I didn't know any better that the prequels were bad. Like I just thought the droids were cool. And I thought those roly poly guys were really cool, and Wrecking Ball is kind of like that, except he's a hamster. He has a very deep voice. Also, it was very discomforting to hear it. And I played a little bit more Super Lucky's Tale as far as other quick fire things. That's just like a delightful little game to play in the side. Super Lucky's Tale actually reminds me a lot of like Crash Bandicoot 2 and 3.
Oh yeah.
Weirdly enough, like I get the way that game feels and the way the attack feels in that game is like specifically very Crash Bandicoot, which is weird. I guess it might be partly because I played them a year ago and it's relatively recent in my mind, but like I never thought I would feel a game that feels like Crash Bandicoot again. And then don't take that out of context.
Have you played Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy?
Yeah, that's what I played through all of them
Fuck, he did.
last year. I know, I played all of it. Like, I consumed it ravenously, weirdly enough. I liked those games. I think they hold up, weirdly enough, after playing that. I think the collection holds up at the very least.
Who made Super Lucky's Tale? I don't remember.
I have no idea. Oh, man. It's some...
Palmer Lucky?
It was Palmer Lucky himself. Let's see what the Wikipedia page says. I know it's like Playful Corp. They don't even have a Wikipedia page. And Microsoft published Super Lucky's Tale specifically. I don't know if Playful Corp has done anything else. I know they probably did Lucky's Tale, the original. Yeah, they did. But yeah, outside of that, maybe that's all they've done. It was honestly the thing that, outside of now having Xbox Game Pass, which I'm just kind of riding that and seeing how that goes for me. The thing that got me to check out Super Lucky's Tale the most is on the Giant Bomb evening show during E3. Phil Spencer compared it to Ori and the Blind Forest. I was like, interesting. And I definitely get that a little bit. I think it more toward like the latter end of things. It's like, it's challenging, right? It is not. It is misleading how delightful and silly and fun it looks. Like it is. There's a little bit of bite to that. And I got to the first kind of difficult thing in that game, but that game's fine. The reason I hooked up PSVR, I've been playing Pixel Ripped 1989. Which comes out on Tuesday, hopefully the day you're hearing this, and hopefully I've written and finished a review of it. I only talked about the first level, which is the same level that I played when I played it at PAX East, except a little bit like the PAX East demo that I played was, I think, a little truncated. And I don't know, that game is very cool. I am continually impressed with how that game is like this weird. It's both like it's a nostalgia play, obviously. 1989's in the title, but it is such a clever take on a VR game for folks who don't know, co-hosts included. The idea is like you're a young girl playing on her handheld gaming device that is closest to like a Sega Game Gear. So it's hideous. But you are the girl in VR. So like, looking around, like the first level is a classroom, where you're just hanging out, trying to not pay attention to class and play, this game on your game console, this like Game Boy equivalent. So you're like physically looking down at the controller, in real life, but in VR, you're looking down at your Game Gear and playing on a handheld game system. And the idea is, there are times like at the end of that first level, the game like explodes out of the game system into the real world, and now you're playing on real world objects. But what's cool is that first level, like this teacher's coming through and yelling at you to pay attention, and to kind of help you get through that, continue to play this level and beat this level, because the fate of the world's depending on it, obviously. You have like a spitball gun. So in the VR part of the game, you like aim at this spitball gun, and then you pick it up, and then you can like shoot a spitball thing at like the projector head, the overhead projector, or the trash can to distract the teacher for a minute or so you can look back down and continue playing the level on your game without being interrupted. It's such a cool idea of like this weird metagame, like it's a game within a game, quite literally. But it's like, it is just simple enough to be brilliant in VR, I think. And I really, really like it. I'll say, like, there are times when you're like in a classroom, like I said, and you're looking at these other kids. Those other kids do not look good. They look like weird alien monsters. But outside of that, like which I originally played it on an Oculus Rift when I played it at PAX, but I'm playing on PSVR now, and it's fine. Like the main draw is like this 2D platforming game that you're playing on the handheld system, and that's pretty good. So yeah, I will have more to say on that next week, but also hopefully I'll have a fully written review up there on Monday. That game is cool. Oh, what were you gonna say, Scott?
I was gonna say, if you're playing with the PSVR, you should get Star Trek Bridge Simulator,
so we can
and we can save the cosmos and the universe together.
It's my brother's VR, and I think he does have that. So
it is so much fun. I have had so much, like, that is the game that I have had the most fun with my PlayStation VR.
Cool. Yeah, I it's that and Batman Arkham VR, obviously.
I still need to get that.
I played the Resident Evil 5 Lost in Nightmares DLC for the first time with my good buddy Andrew Taylor. We streamed it from his Twitch account, Papa Dome Shot. We were taken aback at how short it was, but it is kind of a bummer. I wish it was longer, but I never played that before, and that was really cool. It was really cool partly because I played Resident Evil 1 Remake so recently, and like there's so many one-to-one homages to that game. Like obviously like the entrance hall being exactly the same, and like the dining room being very similar, and things like that. That game, that was really cool. It was very short, but really cool. I would love to see a full Resident Evil game cooperative in the style of RE1, like very much more puzzle focused, much less combat focused. I thought the part where you had to take out these big dudes with like environmental traps and stuff like that, I thought that was really cool, and that you had to work together in really cool ways. I don't know, I thought it was really fun all around.
Did you do the other one?
Master of Unlocking.
Yeah, there is a good Master of Unlocking related reference. I did not do the other one. Technically, the other one's not unlocked for me because I got dropped out of 2 chapters when Andrew and I were playing, so I've not finished the game, so it's not unlocked for me, which is dumb.
Weird. Oh, I never. Okay.
Yeah, it's dumb. I also played a little bit of Resident Evil Revelations 2, because again, I'm on a Resident Evil kick, and it was like this immediate, because it essentially, in theory, plays exactly like Resident Evil 6, but it somehow just feels night and day better than that game. Something wrong with Resident Evil 6. It's like I've been thinking about it so much, as Andrew and I were talking about it, of like, why is that game bad, right? It's just a third-person shooter. It can't be that bad, but yet somehow every second of being in control of that video game feels like a nightmare that you can't get out of. I just... Why is that game like 23 hours long? I just don't know. The only other thing I've been playing, and I played it last week or prior to last week's episode, and I forgot to mention it because it was like I played it the Saturday after, like the day after we recorded, so it was just been a while. Let me tell you about motherfucking Destiny 2, which is a video game.
Oh God.
My friend Drew, who I've known through Twitter for a little bit, but finally met at Kind of Funny Prom, hit me up and he's like, "Hey man." Well, actually, he didn't hit me up. He hit somebody else up on Twitter, and I was like, "Hey man, I have Destiny 2 installed on my PS4 still." He was like looking for somebody to run the Leviathan raid with, and I was here for it. So that 2 Saturdays ago, I ended up running the Leviathan raid, and he's like, "Hey man, we do this every Saturday night. Let me know if you're around." I'm like, this was so much fun. I'm here for it. I got to run the raid with Andrea Renee, who's a guest on Get Acquainted. So I felt like that was closing the loop, which was fun. And yeah, we've run it twice, just Saturday night, back to back. With a couple of new people each time to kind of spicing things up. But yeah, that's just really fun. It's fun to play Destiny again, just because the sheer act of playing it is fun. But also, like, I forgot how much I like the raid. Between that and playing Resident Evil 5 with Andrew, like, I'm on a little bit of a co-op kick, which is fun. And it's like, it's not every night. It's just like Saturday night. Cool, we're gonna run it. It'll take 2 hours or less. When we're done, we're out. And I don't know, there's something really satisfying to that. And now they got me, man. They fucking got me, Tony.
God damn it.
I'm gonna throw all my fucking money at this fucking Forsaken expansion. No. Here's the thing. I'm gonna buy it. I'll play it. I'll probably have a great time. It'll be worth it for me.
Dude, how much Eververse cash you gonna buy, my dude?
$0. Spent zero money on Eververse. Have zero intention of spending any money on Eververse at any point. I'm second guessing myself on should I buy Forsaken on Xbox One versus just on PS4, because again, living my life one mistake at a time, just trying to get through it. Yeah, Destiny 2 still fun. Not a lot to say on it. I just like kind of getting back into that game and falling back in love with it. Has been a great fun time. But that's all I've been playing, and that's it for video games, I think. Let's you guys want to take a peek into the mail sack?
Sure. Okay.
We got
Give me the mail.
We got one tweet and we got a voicemail from our good friend Silver PR. What would you guys like to do first?
Let's listen to Silver.
Silver.
Okay. I can get behind that. Let me make sure you send it to the right inbox. You guys want to fill air for like a minute while I download this voicemail?
Dun, 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 dun,
Scott.
Dun, dun, dun,
Scott.
Which Scott?
I didn't say other Scott, so that's a Scott.
Okay.
What's up, dude?
Yeah.
You want to talk about Mega Man?
Actually, I wanted to ask you, just in your opinion, AAA Japanese games, what would they be other than like Final Fantasy? Is that like that's the goal? I mean, obviously that's the Call of Duty in Japan, but like as far as like the production and like when you think AAA, you think Final Fantasy, but what would others be in that category for you?
Like AAA's and for Japanese publishers?
Yeah, like put all the money into this thing and like it's not make or break if this make or popular thing doesn't like, go away. I don't know. I just thought about that.
I would say Dragon Quest. I would argue that Dragon Quest might be bigger than Final Fantasy in Japan.
Oh, most definitely.
It definitely sells better, but like I see where you're coming from of like the budget, right? What gets the bigger budget?
Because like Final Fantasy is about visuals.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Final Fantasy needs to ditch the visuals and go more into gameplay. That's my argument with that. But in terms of big budget, like huge Japanese titles, I think I think some fighting games are big with there, so you'll get your Tekkens, your Street Fighters. I think those are big with Japan as well.
I don't think Tekken's AAA. I wouldn't think of that.
In the arcades, not necessarily with console, but you have to remember that the arcade market in Japan is much bigger over there than it is over here.
Sure.
So I would say like Tekken, Street Fighter, I think are still big.
The only reason I say that is because like I remember like Tekken 6 and that just like coming and going. But like obviously Tekken 7 is like amazing. I love that game, but like Tekken was like, kind of just a thing. But like I said, maybe it's just from my perspective from where I'm at. So
dude, I think Dark Souls is that game too. Like
Dark Souls is big. Dark Souls I feel is pretty big like across the globe. I thought it was more
of a Western hype type of thing than it is Japan.
But like it is a Japanese developed big budget game.
Yeah.
Okay, I get you on that. Okay, that's true.
I think it's definitely more popular, at least in terms of streaming and things like that. It's bigger with the States and Western audiences, but it is still a fairly big property. Like you have your Tekkens, you have your Street Fighters. I think
Resident Evil would definitely be one too.
Resident Evil would be one.
Monster Hunter now too.
Oh yeah, totally.
That changed with World though.
Okay.
Like, that wasn't the case, but that is the case now.
Well, the portable landscape between the U.S. or like the West and Japan is vastly different because you have many more people play remotely and like portably in Japan, at least with the Monster Hunter games.
And I think that's also true of Dragon Quest. Like, although I still have no perception of how well Dragon Quest 10 did, if it did well at all. You know,
10,
yeah, because like that, that never came out in the United States. I know Dragon Quest 9 did fucking gangbusters, because it came out on the DS, so it was portable. It sold well in the US, and it sold even better in Japan.
Isn't like Dragon Quest like MMOs pretty much just like beyond the most popular thing? So like it's almost guaranteed to always sell. Like Dragon Quest 10 was on the Wii because the Wii was the top selling system there. So
yeah,
but
it's huge over there.
So that doesn't make any sense. No. I will also say, I know like they get copped out of this conversation a lot, but Nintendo, man.
Yeah, of course.
Mario and Zelda, AAA Japanese developed games, like huge, big budgets, massive development times. You know, they get the full Monty. Y'all ready for this voicemail now?
You know it.
What up, guys? Hello, PR here. I hope everybody's doing good and well. No video games to talk about this week, just trailers, and more trailers. I just want to give my 2 cents, my opinions about some of the trailers that were showcased. And if you want to talk about those afterwards, feel free, even the ones that I didn't mention here. But regardless, let's go straight to that. You know, San Diego Comic-Con came and go, and a lot of things got showcased. And here's a couple things that I caught my attention. Obviously, Disney brought the Clone Wars back, and it's going to be part of the new Disney streaming service, I believe, next year. And to be honest, you know, more Clone Wars is good for me. And if Disney pulls off the Fox deal completely and they bring all this Fox content and all this Disney content in one house, in one place, in one streaming service, sign me up, because I'd rather have that than Netflix. And if it has more Clone Wars to top it off, sign me up.
Hell yeah.
Another thing also is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles new series. And just get something out of the way. First of all, I don't mind April O'Neil being a different skin colored person. You know,
I didn't even know
it doesn't
that.
matter if she's a white redhead or a black dark skinned character. That's not the issue for me. The issue is the turtles itself. When I saw the concept art a couple months ago, I didn't like it. Now that I saw it in motion, it looks like the action sequence is going to be great. It's going to be more intense than before, or like in many, many recent years. And the humor is there, so that's a good thing. But I'm still skeptical about the whole presentation. Not the characters themselves, you know, outside of the Turtles. I think Splinter looks okay. April O'Neil is just fine. Those who have issues with that just have to just work those out and with a psychiatrist, I guess. But aside of that, I'm skeptical a little bit about the TMNT, but I'll give it a shot when it comes out because, I'm a fanboy forever when it comes to TMNT related stuff. So obviously I will give it a shot regardless. And then the DC stuff came in. Aquaman looks fine. Is James Wan directing in it? Having Zack Snyder botches for the past several years, and then the Suicide Squad. I'm just like fed up with DC. But after watching this trailer, it gives me a little bit of hope that it's more colorful, it's more charming, it's James Wan. I mean, James Wan, you cannot go wrong with James Wan when it comes to horror or action. So maybe James Wan's gonna revive a little bit of hope to the DC fan base. So I'm looking forward for this Aquaman movie. And then Shazam came out, and to be honest, I don't have no problem with Zachary Levi playing Shazam. Here's the thing. Shazam is based on a 14-year-old kid who gets Superman-like powers. Think about that. How do you think a 14-year-old will act? Obviously, it's going to feel like a comedy. If you write it on paper, it will be like a comedy. So it's okay that this movie has a lot of comedy sequences. And it's going to be a coming-of-age story. So I'm down with this Shazam movie also. It looks colorful, it looks charming, and I think it's better part for the course because we have so much Zack Snyder shoved down our throats. I think this is way more better, to be honest. And then the Titans trailer came up.
Yeah, here we go.
All right. First of all, like I mentioned with the TMNT April O'Neil being a different color, I have no issue with Starfire being dark skinned. So those people that were
Blessing Adeoye somewhere is like, I want to quote. Y'all know I love the OK Beast Boys. I want to quote Blessing Adeoye before we continue this
Oh, dude, come
you know
on.
exactly what I'm talking about. Just like first 15 minutes of the fucking most recent episode of OK Beast podcast, where he's like, I don't know why Starfire's a black woman. And I was like, I'm just listening, and it's everyone on that show is reacting the same way I was. I'm just laughing hysterically. OK Beast, patreon.com/OKBeast. It's worth $1. Go check. Give them your support. Also, very excited to welcome Ian Purcell to the Irrational Passions team.
just attacking the actress are just dumb motherfuckers. Just get that out of the way. Overall, I didn't like the trailer. It looks like instead of being Titans, this is Teen Angst Titans, the series. And I hate that. Aside, CW being the better DC property out there, product, being a little more adult theme, a little bit more mature. But this looks edgy. And edgy, if you overdo it, it looks bad. And this is really overdone. So, in my opinion, they're just botching this whole concept of Titans, and to try to sell this as part of that streaming service for DC. I don't think I'm gonna get enticed to buy a subscription of DC just for this, or for Young Justice, for that matter. So, regardless, I didn't like it. That's pretty much my opinion about it. So, yeah, that's pretty much about me. If you guys have anything else that you want to talk about San Diego Comic-Con that you didn't mention here when it comes to trailers, feel free. But this is pretty much my hot takes. Hopefully you guys liked it. So without further ado, have a fun one. Have a happy weekend. Civil PR signing out.
I just realized something, right? And Silver PR brings up a very good and important word when describing the Titans trailer, and that's angst.
Mm-hmm.
And I love angst. But there's one person in this world that loves angst even more than I do, and his name is Jacob Bryant. And I'm sorry, guys. We're gonna make a phone call right now, on this podcast because I need to know what Jacob Bryant thinks of the Titans trailer. I have not thought about it up until this point. Hello. Hey, Jacob. You're on Irrational Passions podcast right now.
Good.
I need your opinion on something right now.
Yeah, you got it.
Feed me your feelings after watching the DC Titans trailer.
mean, here's the thing. I didn't hate it as much as literally everyone else on the planet did.
Yeah.
Fuck Batman seemed a little aggressive.
But like, fuck Batman, am I right?
But like, there's been a million like weird, stupid multiverse DC stories where like everyone's all fucked up and like super dark for just like that's how it is. So like, whatever. If they're gonna do that, whatever. I'll probably watch an episode and then hate it after that.
Yeah. I like your honesty. I mean, here's my thing, Jacob. It's full of angst. We just played a voicemail from Silver PR, and he described it as angsty. I thought angst was good, man.
You know, there is a lot of and I love angst. That's like number one drug of choice. It's as much teen to mid-20s angst as I can possibly get in my life.
Yeah.
I try. So like, yeah, I could be down for that. I mean, Robin, Moody, Raven, always Moody. I mean, if I'm down for them to just kind of bring their hands over, be like, oh, look at this hot piece of work over there. Like, I'm down for that.
But is there a but here?
No, I don't even need them to be in the costume. They can just be like, this is what we do when we're not superheroing. Like, I'd be more interested in that show, honestly.
Yeah, maybe that's what it'll end up being. Who knows?
I mean, we can hope.
All right. Thank you for your hot take, Jacob. I love you, buddy.
Love you too. See ya.
Bye.
Hey.
There, now we know. I feel like we closed the loop. This 3-week-long loop that we've been in about Titans. I really love that Shazam trailer. I thought that was the most provocative. I don't know, because it brought something very unique that only that story has, which I don't think any of the other DC movies have captured. The uniqueness of their story, save for Wonder Woman. Like, obviously, I have very strong feelings about Wonder Woman, but like, I feel like the Superman, Man of Steel didn't capture. It was just like it could have been any gray tough guy fights another tough guy movie, right? Like, it didn't capture what was unique about Superman. Obviously, Batman versus Superman did nothing for me. And I think Justice League started kind of like scratching at it in those last 15 minutes, which says a lot. But Shazam seems like, here are the cool things about Shazam. He's a kid. He's got superpowers. He's got like these other relationships that make him more interesting. And it's got all of those things, all of those unique things about Shazam. And it was really cool. It felt like a Marvel movie, not necessarily saying it was 1-to-1, but it felt like, man, they're capturing what makes this thing cool in this trailer. So I don't know. Do you have any hot takes now, Bashin?
No. All I can really say is like Shazam looked actually really good. I thought that trailer was decent. I hope the movie actually is as good as that trailer played it out to be. Mm-hmm. And Aquaman honestly looks like the same DC bullshit that's been happening for a while now. So
yeah, that's how I felt too.
I mean, like, I'll go see it because I don't know. Sure, why not? That's how it always is now. Like, I won't bother to take my time to go see like Jurassic World, for instance, but like, whatever, it's a superhero movie, I'll pay the money to see that. Sure, why not?
I'm the exact opposite. So it's like, I went and saw Jurassic World, which was fine, but like Deadpool 2, a movie I probably would have enjoyed a great deal more, I didn't end up going and seeing. So I'm just a mistake. That's what I'm saying. Scott,
no, yeah,
Tony, any hot takes?
That was it.
How do you, Scott Guthier, how do you feel about Shazam?
I'm excited.
Okay.
I thought the trailer was so dumb.
I was into how dumb it was, though. In my head, I had originally pictured Channing Tatum would make a really good Shazam just because he's so doofy. But I really liked Zachary Levi in that, actually. Scott White, hot takes.
I think the Shazam trailer showed what I think the Marvel series has gotten right for a long time. It shows that the characters know that they're superheroes and they like have some fun with it, which I think is what the DC movies have been lacking. It's like they're so serious and dark and brooding and emotional and everything like that. It's like, but with the Shazam trailer, it's like this kid's like, holy crap, I'm a superhero. What can I do? I'm excited for it. I'm anxious to see what they do with it. I'm hoping we get a bit more lighthearted undertones to the DC movies that we haven't really had.
Well, yeah. The other thing about it is they're bad at being serious.
Yeah, dude, they don't do it well.
They're bad at being serious to the point where it's kind of a joke.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to try something else. I don't know if they're gonna be good at being funny, but I'd rather them try.
I mean, I think it's like that's the New Line Cinema doing Shazam, so I think it's just like a whole different group of people doing that compared to like the usual group.
True. We'll see how it turns out. We did only get one question, it looks like. Let me make sure I get the music right. From our good friend Nicole Humphrey. She did text me an addendum to this. She said, Mary Buff Kill is what she tweeted, which I kind of like the idea of Mary Buff Kill instead of Mary Boff Kill, where like instead of fucking one of them, you actually just make them so much stronger. So Mary Buff Kill, Persona, Final Fantasy, and Kingdom Hearts. And she did say, for Tony, sub Dark Souls in for Kingdom Hearts.
I was about to say, this is the easiest decision of my life.
I know. It's still, I feel like it's still not that hard for you.
No.
Do you want to go first, Tony? Mary Buff Kill or Mary Boff Kill, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you marry Persona, obviously.
Always.
Yeah, go for a roll in the sack with Dark Souls. I don't know how that would turn out, but
Ooh, it'd be sexy. It'd be
Probably.
nasty.
I don't know. Would it be, or would it be like the hardest fuck of your life?
You know, well, you see, you'd probably end up dead.
Probably.
Exactly.
So you don't answer the last part.
But it's like worth the risk, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
There's some like cute looking werewolves in there somewhere, probably.
Oh yeah.
And then obviously Final Fantasy gets the axe.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry, Tifa.
rest in peace, Tifa. Here's my thing, like, so for the rest of us, Persona, Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, like, yeah, man, I gotta marry Persona. I'll fuck the shit out of Kingdom Hearts. Or buff the shit out of Kingdom Hearts. I don't know if I want to live in a world where I make Kingdom Hearts stronger. Actually,
Yeah,
I do want to live in that world.
Yeah, you do.
And yeah, I gotta get the action of Final Fantasy. Like, listen, man,
Same.
I wouldn't love JRPGs as much as I do now without Final Fantasy, but also like Persona delivers on like this. Persona is like, it's a commitment. It's a marital level relationship for me, and Kingdom Hearts is something that like, once it's done, right? After 3 comes out, in a perfect world, there's never a Kingdom Hearts 4, and they ended the story right. Obviously, we don't live in a perfect world, and none of that's going to happen. Well, they might end the story right. We can hope.
They'll end Sora's story right, but the world of Kingdom Hearts will go on.
They'll end Xehanort's story.
Yeah, this is Xehanort's story, remember?
The Dark Seeker saga. I hopefully like that goes out feeling satisfying. Like, it doesn't even have to make sense as long as I'm satisfied at the end of it. That's what I'm expecting. I'm sure plenty of other Kingdom Hearts fans out there are also expecting that. Nabishin, you're the same. Scott, what about you? Scott White.
Let's see. It was Kingdom Hearts, Marry, Buff, and then Kill?
Yeah, Marry, Buff, Kill. Kingdom Hearts,
Kingdom
Persona,
Hearts,
Final Fantasy.
and Persona.
I think I'd marry Kingdom Hearts. For this one, I'm gonna make it so it's not just Persona. I'm gonna make it Shin Megami Tensei.
Okay.
Because Persona, I'm gonna do Buff Shin Megami Tensei and kill Final Fantasy.
Okay. I like that. Because Persona is a spin-off of Shin Megami Tensei, so
Yeah.
makes sense.
I think a lot of what SMT does deserves mainline recognition. I think they do a lot of really cool things that I think main RPG fans should take a look at. Final Fantasy, I think, needs to reevaluate their priorities. And Kingdom Hearts comes out so rarely that it's just like, okay, yeah, I'll marry it. And
It did come out like a year for a good while now. Like there was a Kingdom Hearts game every year, but that was like a few years ago. But
well,
continue,
and
sorry.
they were also like remixes and like HD ports of it. Like it's been like the last main game was
Dream Drop just.
Dream Drop,
Distance,
right?
y'all.
Which
Well,
was
there's the
2.8,
thing last
but
year.
Yeah, there was like the .02 Birth by Sleep.
A fragmentary passage, please. Thank you.
Yeah, the AKA Kingdom Hearts 3, the demo.
Now, so I didn't read this message from Nicole correctly. She does bring up some interesting swaps here. She says for Scott Guthier, a more interesting trio would be Mary Buff Kill, Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, and Dark Souls. So basically take Persona out of it for Scott Guthier. And then for Scott White, she said swap Final Fantasy out for Tales.
Ooh,
Should have did that with you, boy.
Yeah, that would have been good. That would have been tough for me. Still would have killed Tales. Gotta make
Ooh.
sacrifices. Gotta make cuts, man.
yeah, I would probably do Mary Tales,
Ooh.
buff SMT, kill Kingdom Hearts.
Damn. That is a big change. What about you, Scott Guthier?
I'm gonna marry Kingdom Hearts.
Okay, my man.
Buff, what is it? Final Fantasy that I still have?
So Final Fantasy would have been swapped out for Dark Souls, and then, or no, Persona would have been swapped out for Dark Souls. So yeah, it'd be Dark Souls and
Right,
Final
you're right.
Fantasy.
Yeah, I'm killing Dark Souls.
Damn.
Listen,
up.
if it's in any of the other two positions, I'm the one that's dying.
It's true. It's true. Fair enough.
That's just how those games work.
It's just how those games work, man. You marry Dark Souls, you're into the grave.
Just get your souls back. You'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Find your bloodstain. Those are good. Thank you for the addendums, Nicole. Nicole also in our live chat, which you can participate in by watching live, youtube.com/irrationalpassions, said, FYI, I'd kill Kingdom Hearts. Sorry, boys. And I'm just hurt. I'm upset and I'm hurt. But to be fair, she's still playing through the games, so maybe she'll have a change of heart. Fingers crossed.
I should ask her what Final Fantasy game she's played. I know she played 15, but I don't know about the other ones. Oh,
Yeah.
she's telling me to play 7, so I guess she plays 7. So never mind.
Yeah. She played at least 2. Thank you for the question, Nicole. You can tweet your questions at IrrationalPod with the hashtag IPQ, and we'll read them on the show. Or you can email us or send us a voicemail. The email address is mailsack@irrationalpassions.com, and the phone number is 404-590-1337. Standing long distance fees do apply. If you'd like to find anything else Irrational Passions, it's all on irrationalpassions.com. You can follow us on social media at IrrationalPod on Twitter and Irrational Passions on Instagram. George Cruz out there killing it, covering all the social medias. Some other stuff, rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher and Google Play. Check out Input and Get Acquainted, the other two shows on irrationalpassions.com. And also Smash Brother or Podcast Ultimate, our Super Smash Brothers Ultimate limited run podcast. And for everything else, Irrational Passions, including writing from both Scott and myself, irrationalpassions.com is the place to be. But that's it. That's the show. We're out of all the bullshit. Now it's time to get down to business. It's time for bets.
Oh, damn.
Are you ready, Tony?
I had to make you wait for it, bro.
I love it. You know I love it. This week's bet, written by the illustrious Brian Nabishin Jackson. WarioWare Gold releases Friday, July 27th. Just today. On the Nintendo 3DS.
Is that today?
That is
Oh,
today.
shit.
Yeah, dog.
Hold on.
It's okay. I don't think any of us are fucking sitting here checking Open Critic right now.
I think it's August.
August 3rd? That's next
Maybe
Friday.
I'm wrong. Hold on, sorry.
That's okay.
No, I think it's coming out today.
Is it?
I feel like I wouldn't have known if WarioWare Gold was coming out today. I don't even know what WarioWare Gold is. Oh, that's the 3DS thing. Never mind.
Yeah.
I remember. WarioWare Gold releases on an unannounced date that we are working to figure out for Nintendo 3DS. On the top 3 reviews...
Yeah, it's the 3rd. It's the 3rd of August.
August 3rd, got it. Next Friday. On the top 3 reviews on OpenCritic, how many times will a synonym to small be used?
Like micro, mini,
Little.
game.
I don't know if game is a synonym for
But I mean,
small.
like mini game, micro game. That's what I
Micro game.
meant. That's small.
Mini game. So mini, like, are we including prefixes like mini and stuff like that? I think that we should. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Oh boy. In the top 3 reviews, how many times will a synonym for small be used? Now, Scott White, you are on the opposing team to myself and Nobishin. We are in team
The
Nobishin.
meme team.
The meme team. Big Dick Energy, Team BDE right now, I believe.
Aw,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure we're Team Ligma right now.
I mean, we can update the name, man. Team Lou Ferrigno. When you guys are ready, you can type in your bets and throw them up in our Discord chat. I'm still trying to figure out mine, if I'm being totally honest. You know, I'll say that. That feels like it's a good number. All right. Nobishin said 10. It's a high bet. I like that. Bold. Tony said 7. Fuck. I said 7. For your reference, Tony. Scott said 10. And Scott White said 8. I like how the two people of the two teams bet the same fucking things. That's so funny. So basically, if it's 8, Scott White gets it on the money. Meme team wins. But if it's anything else, both teams are getting a point at the very least. Which I like. I like that. Stakes are high. Stakes are high. Last week's bet, I was particularly proud of this one. No Man's Sky next. What? Can you say something, Scott?
If it's 9,
If it's 9, yeah,
you
technically.
get 2 points and you get 1 point.
Yeah. Damn. Betting's fucking great. It's a great segment that we've put into the show that we've stolen from Easy Allies. Last week's bet, No Man's Sky next comes out next week at the time of last week's recording. On Xbox One, it will be all included on the disc. On PS4, what will the file size for the free update next patch for that console be? I bet 3.8 gigabytes. Scott Guthier bet 6 gigabytes. Nobishin bet 7.8 gigabytes. And Tony bet 5.6 gigabytes. Y'all know the actual size?
It's like 9 point something.
9.7 gigabytes. I feel like we all bet well in that regard. Nobishin edged it out with the high bet right at the end there, though, which brings Team Nanashi's point total to 39 points. I like that mid-yawn shush. And Team BDE, meme team, the squad, still rock hard at 28 points. I feel like I can't say anything but rock hard. Nobishin, you've won Danny Juarez's love and affection until it's up for grabs again at the end of next week. And you've earned yourself a final say on something. What do you got to say, bud?
Fuck Twitter. It's been a week. It's been good.
Good.
Not good. It's been a bad week, but it's been good because I haven't looked on Twitter for like a good week. So I feel good about myself.
Big mood. Fuck Twitter. It's like Batman, but worse. That's it. That's the show. Thank you everyone for tuning in live. Thanks for everyone for listening. Thank you, Scott White, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
It's absolutely a pleasure. You're on Twitter at what? SolidSnake120, right?
Yep,
That's where you are everywhere.
that's where I am.
That's universal branding right there, and I appreciate that.
Yep.
I'm gonna say here now. Make sure you keep recording until I say you can stop recording now.
And by the way, I did say fuck Twitter, but
Roll back that final word. Give it to me.
yeah, that was a little too harsh. I think
I mean,
there's people on there that I miss every day. Like I miss Blessing. I miss
We all
seeing
miss
his.
Blessing.
Yes, I miss Blessing. I miss those people who I see on a daily basis who feed me my daily entertainment when I'm just bored at work or just have something to look at. But now it's just like I just need something to figure out what to do in my in between time. So that's where I'm at in life. So maybe not fuck Twitter. Maybe fuck certain things about Twitter, but other than that,
Let me introduce you to Tetris for iPhone. It's mine.
I'm not gonna play mobile. No.
I don't play. Yeah, you ain't no.
Watch
fucking
out,
nerd.
he's in download Puzzle and Dragons.
Yeah, let's get you on the pad train.
yeah, hell, that's dude.
Thank you to Danny Wiesner for opening music of Two Player Co-op and our closing music of The World Is Saved. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Nabishin, for joining me. As always, love you guys. Big hugs all the way around. I've been your host, Alex O'Neill. Play your games. Stay rational. We will talk to you all next week.
Titles.
Now we do the
Titles.
titles.
Cool.
So we got Bagel Head. I'm the video game boy. I'm the one who wins. Head to bottom, top to bottom, head to toe.
Tip to tat.
War has changed. YOLO strats and Mary Buff kill.
I like head to bottom, top to bottom, head to toe a lot, honestly. Partly because of how tongue twistery it is. Scott White, what would you want the title of this podcast to be?
Ooh, I gotta go Bagel Head.
Oh my god, I've literally suppressed Bagelhead. I didn't even hear it when you said the title, Tony. Like,
No one wants that, dude.
people want it. That's
No.
That's why
gross.
I'm going with the underdog, man. I'm going Bagel Head because that shit's crazy.
Scott White. How fucking lit on that whiskey are you right now?
I'm pretty good because I got a refill.
Podcast fucking up Scott White since 1989.
I'm not finishing my glass though because I'm pretty sure I'd be sick.
Yeah, probably.
So I'm good. I'm feeling pretty good right now. Gonna pass out after this.
Hell yeah. Scott Guthier, what would you want the title of this podcast to be? Yes.
War has changed.
Okay. Tony?
Bagel Head.
Nabishin.
Mary Buff kill.
I mean, we got 2 votes for Bagelhead, man. It's going to take it.
Do it.
Don't we have 2 for Mary Buff Kill too?
No.
No.
Oh.
Keep the dream alive, though. All right. Scott White, I'm going to rate something that I want you to read. I'll do.
You are listening to the Irrational Passions Podcast, episode 37.
37.
Bagelhead.
Bagelhead. I'll say Bagelhead.
Bagelhead.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay.
If you want to give it a couple of dry runs, really warm yourself up to it.
You're listening to Irrational Passions Podcast, episode 387.
Bagelhead. One time my boss, when I worked at a GameStop, said that my head looked just like a bagel and that he wanted to fuck it. I'll never forget that. And with that note, we are ending this podcast. He said specifically he wanted to put my head in a microwave and then fuck it. I believe it was in a joking manner, but I can't be sure. You can stop recording now.
You should call HR.
I should have.
That's-
It was GameStop. They didn't have HR.
I worked for GameStop as well.
Did they have HR?
So, I think so. So we're stopping recording now?
Yeah, you can stop recording now.
Yep.
Thanks everybody for watching. Have a good night.
Bye.